Sorry, everybody. Hi! Hello, everyone.
Hi. Hello, everybody.
Hi. No, Rachel, you're not going to be late because I'm the one who's late. I had two different situations arise like right before we had to. One was a job, a possible job opportunity. Another was a best friend emergency. So I had to like do that.
Audra was like, maybe 9:20, and then she's like, oh shit, my best friend's calling me. And I was like, let's make it 9:30 just in
Yeah.
case, because nobody knows.
Yeah, because normally, like, listen. If I prepare myself for things to be correct and well, then everything that can happen to destroy that will.
The entire world is just like piling on.
Yeah, it's like they looked and they were like, "Is Audra
Hey,
about to start
Chris.
Hi,
Hey,
Glittigan.
Alex. Thank you, Legally Black Beauty.
Hello, hello.
Yes, Audra has completely embraced her skills in eyeshadow. Get
Yeah,
it.
I got on the Smoky Glow palette today.
Nice. I love the little like bit of blue flip I see in the inner corner. Like the shine of the purple is shining kind of blue.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey,
hey,
Chris.
Chris.
Hello, hello. Hey, Josh.
Gosh, I
That
love you.
Tropic Cat Life. Angela, Anisa. I just want to say, I'm just gonna say, I can't wait to play with your palette, Josh.
I'm very
Whenever that
excited.
arrives my way. I know. Like I have a whole drench little package heading my way of goodness.
Did you get a highlighter today?
Um, I got a loose pigment, a loose glitter, the liner, and the palette.
Ooh, I didn't get the
So
liner because somebody
yeah,
got that. But I did get the I think it's Aries. I got a highlighter because it just looked like it was gonna
I
like
think I got Olympia.
yeah.
What palette is this? Well, that would be the Drench Cosmetics Cosmic Oasis. Yes.
Cosmic. Oh it is. We're gonna be doing the most.
Hey, Elohim.
Xavier,
Yes.
hi! Oh my gosh! Okay, if y'all don't watch Xavier's channel, very, very thoughtful breakdowns of like a lot of the drama and situations that happen. And it's such a good time. It seems to be often live, but it doesn't matter because that's the fun part for me is that like I get to be a part of the conversation. So it was good.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was really good. Like I've hopped in a few times. A couple times I couldn't say anything, so I was just there because I was
Very,
like,
very thoughtful breakdowns of like,
"Oh, it's
oh my
me."
goodness. I'm
Here
sorry
in
about that. I didn't realize my phone was so loud. I'm subscribing right now before I forget.
Yes, please do because he's fun.
Okay. Oh, what are we wearing? Well, I am wearing the Kaleidos Futurism VR Neon. That bright ass palette. Um,
I only have like
and then
I'm wearing the
that
smoky.
works.
Lydia, you're not late. We just started, girl. Like we just started.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, exactly. No, you're not at all late, Lydia.
Yeah, I threw
Yes,
up.
whatever it is, post the video.
So Josh, Kara actually had an extra smoky glow palette, so she tossed it my way, and I just like smashed this together right quick. Like, sorry, it's a little darker. Like, I find that if I live stream from my couch, Bo is like a lot sweeter and kinder about me, doing this because he can sit right on top of me, which, I guess it's fun.
Yes. Oh, hey, Abby. Welcome, welcome.
Hi, Abby. Where is my house full of David Bowies? I'm not gonna let it go.
The Tropic Cat Life. If anyone could see, Audra probably has seen all of the makeup that's come into my life over the past couple of months.
I know.
No one in chat needs an intervention. Probably more than some of us talking on the camera right now.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in time, I'm pretty sure that I have Drench that just gave you the shipping notification.
Hey, Case and
Let's
Alex.
see, Adapt. Who else? Like I have like 4 or 5 packs. Teespring. I got a lot of shit. So
I just got this one from Lethal. I've swatched a little bit, but I haven't played with it yet. I got that today. Yeah, I still have Drench. I should be hopefully getting that notification soon for shipping, and JD Glow. And I think that's it for the moment, but there's so many things that I've gotten in my life. Also, I wanted to say one reason why I have this on is that I think Kaleidos is actually discontinuing this. It was limited edition and it is like going away. So I'm giving you a warning now.
Oh.
You know, not that anyone needs makeup. Hi, Tyrion. But
yeah, cat butt. Hit that bingo square, y'all.
Exactly.
And like Kimberly said, please do like the stream, y'all. If you haven't liked the stream, please make sure you do so. Helps it to get some circulation.
Oh, also new to me indie brand that I'm just trying called House of Uni, and I ordered 3 lipsticks from them, and this matte black is just fucking amazing.
Ooh.
So who said you need liquid lipsticks to do weird colors? You don't.
Yeah, and I ordered from like Notice Beauty. Listen,
nice.
they have obviously it's an indie brand, and they have these singles, and they have these like fucking sick multi-chromes, and I was like, so I bought them because I figured since I can't get Cleona, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try this and see.
This one is the VR Neon Futurism 4. So I think the 4 and the 5, the turquoise and this one were limited edition technically. And I think they said they have a few more of the turquoise, but that like whatever they have of this is it. So I mean, I've talked a lot about their 6-pan palettes. I fucking love them. But yeah.
Lydia Kaleidos, those palettes are only like $24, $28.
Yeah, these are 24. And
yeah,
I think if you get, it's like 2 or 3, they always have a discount. I'm not a salesperson. This brand did send me my first ever PR, but I'm not a salesperson for them. I just fucking love them. And speaking of people that have sent you PR, someone else in the chat mentioned that they got the Nomad Tokyo palette.
Ooh.
Speaking of Nomad, we have a June Starfish in the house, Miss Audra. If y'all haven't seen her video from today.
Yeah, then I got verklempt on at the when I was because I was doing the editing, and when I saw how I edited together the last part of my putting on the makeup and all that, I got weepy when I saw it. When I finished editing it and everything, I really wasn't teary-eyed until I watched it in total, because I'm starting to try to watch my videos now so that I can stop being a freaking weirdo. Oh, look at that.
I thought I saw a couple comments in the chat. I was like, let me just write it out. But yes, yay, Audra being June Starfish. That's amazing. I love the video. I always do. I
know. See, sometimes I save your videos, I'll play it, but I'm not watching it at that point in time because I'm saving it for a time where I'm I need some calm. Cause this guy drives me nuts sometimes. I told you today, it was too hot for him. He was just fuck the world and wouldn't go outside. Don't put your head on my shoulders and do that. He's in his little mood. I don't know why he's being I swear he knows now that people are looking at him. So he's just look at me, I'm so cute. He's such a mess. No,
exactly.
I don't know. He.
Yes, I agree. Weird Audra is an awesome award-winning Audra.
Thank you. I'm very. Hey, another lemon tree. Hey, I went to being my whole ass weird self because it was too. If y'all knew the stress it was for me to try to be normal back in the day, whew, rough.
Cheers to not being normal.
Right? Cheers. I'm having Austin East ciders.
Same. I have the rose one right now, and then I have the watermelon one for later.
Baby.
So dry rosé, which really tastes a little bit too much like rose for me, but that's okay. Oh, another
Oh,
lemon tree having the most intense night at work while my tomcat snoozes in the bed next to me. At least you have your tomcat near you. Oh. Oh, look, caffeine and sarcasm. My big baby threw a tantrum because I made him go out to potty.
oh my gosh. Listen, I tried to lift his little ass up. Like, so I say little. He's like, now he's close to 80 pounds. And I'm like, I tried to lift. So what happened is I was like, I know you have to go. Let's go outside. And he looked at me and goes, "Ugh," and then like plopped his ass back down on the floor. And I was like, no, dude, we have to, like, this is a thing. It's been hours. And normally he would be like bugging me about it. But now, I have considered doing some boas up to some shit merch, but I didn't know like that. And you're in for a treat. So those are the two that I was like, I'm trying to work on, but my design
Yes.
skills are like falling flat right now. So like,
Designing is not easy. It is not easy. Also, I love how everyone's just like, normal is boring, normal is boring, normal
I
is
know.
overrated, frack normal. Yes,
Practice.
definitely bows up to some shit.
Yes. This is like
Oh,
sweet
thank you, Lisa Marie.
mother.
Look at that face. Look
No.
at that
What is he
face.
doing? Like he's normally like uninterested. I swear, like now he understands what's happening, and so he's like trying to look as regal and handsome as fucking possible right now. I cannot stand him. Cannot stand
That side eye. Yes, just a pic of his side eye. Exactly.
him.
Everyone's like, we need bow merch.
I
That's
know.
hilarious.
I'll work on some bow merch. He's such a sweet baby.
Little one.
Such a sweet boy.
Well, I know I've told you that if I ever have my phone in my hand that Veronica doesn't like she'll be doing some cute shit. I grab my phone and she's just like, fuck you. I'm gonna stop doing that. She knows that this either means I'm distracted or I guess I'm trying to take photos of her. So I feel like Bo is learning like, oh, this is the attraction moment. This is the attention.
I
He
swear
totally knows he's on camera.
because well, you know that on Marco Polo, like he started to notice like when he does look like he should have a top hat. He's just, I mean, I think he's like, are you gonna just lay down or what are you gonna do? Like, what is your plan, sir? Like, I can accommodate whatever plan you want to go with. If you want to lean, then lean. If you like, okay. Anyways, this is how I talk to him regularly, you guys. Like, Emily knows.
This is like if Veronica comes over and like wants to be in my space, and I'm like, but you have to sit down. I will make space for you, but you need to sit down. Like, I'm not doing this. Like, get up, walk around, do a circle, and I'm just like, just especially on live stream, I'm like, just sit, please.
I know. Just like pick a thing that you want to have done, and then we'll do that. But like now he's taken off to like he's like I've made an appearance and I feel amazing, and now I'm gonna go play with this ball. So derpy, a monocle.
Sheep is so cute. Sheep is the most adorable, tiny, fluffy white dog. So cute.
Yeah, that was my child. That was definitely my child.
Wait.
I just burped.
Oh,
sorry.
thank you. And thank you, Alice. I love black lipstick. It's like,
I know. You're looking so damn fly.
Thank you. A bow tie. There we go. The puns.
I rose up to some shit.
Oh, thank you. So like extreme bow with the tie, the top hat, like there's some shit happening.
I know. There's some shit afoot.
Yes, Angela, geez, life with cats. I love you, but just sit the fuck down. Exactly.
I know. I used to have cats, and that was the same issue. Like, but I used to have this cat named Jack, and I would always take pictures of him in boxes for obvious reasons, because his name's Jack, and then he's in a box. So it was like super funny to post him all the time, be like, "Look, it's Jack in a box." I mean, it wasn't that funny, but like, but it was funny to me. Like, he's this big fat cat that I was just like, Jack in a box. Like, looking back on it, I'm ashamed of myself and who I was.
Do not be ashamed. Also, oh, Poppy wants to be in the sprinklers. I kind of want to be in the sprinklers today. It's fucking hot.
For real.
Also, you can always watch us on like 1.5 speed. I've done that in live streams. If I get behind, like I'm just gonna watch it at 1.5 speed, and then soon I'm able to catch up to the actual live part of the stream.
Hello, free here.
Yeah, no, the sprinklers. I'm like, I would love that right now. Like, can I just run through the sprinklers?
Oh yeah, and some of y'all have been giving me like information for podcasts. So like when this is over, some of y'all could just drop those in the actual comments, like the regular comments of this. That would be the shit because like I'm finally getting on my shit to like listen to podcasts, and I also have to go back and record my like next episode for my podcast because it's been like a month.
So like info podcast, you mean you want recommendations, but left in the comments, right?
I want recommendations.
Okay.
It's got to be like true crime or like horror. Like I'm not really like into like, or it's something that's remarkably funny, but like I don't want anything with like people I don't like, which is a lot of people, but still.
Oh my goodness. I know.
Twins, whatever they are, the WWE, like those Bella twins. I don't want anything to do with them. Okay, I tried to listen to their show. I wanted to poke out my eyeballs.
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, that's weird.
Oh, that's true, Audrey. You could hop into the Discord.
I could.
You could. You could.
I do.
After I tagged you on Jebediah Storkelfish's spreadsheet.
Oh my gosh. And what was the one that I had? What was it? I cannot remember. It was so funny.
It's probably on the spreadsheet.
Jalopity Staircase. I think that was it. Jalopity Staircase.
Hey, cats. That's a great idea, Faye.
No.
Oh, huskies are so cute. I still remember, like, right when I first moved to New York, literally a decade ago. Wow. My friend came up to visit, and we were, like, somewhere in Manhattan, and we just see this tiny baby husky puppy being walked by his owner. And we spent, like, half an hour. We, like, stopped the owner because he was just, like, adorable, the ice blue eyes, like, the sweetest husky puppy. And I was like, I don't know how you have a husky in this city because like I know they get big, but oh my, I was like, my heart, I still remember that little puppy because also he was obsessed with my friend's necklace. So like the whole time she was trying to pet him, he was just like chomp 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 on her necklace. I don't know, it was so cute.
Yeah, I mean, like they're so sweet and like, no, I do go into the Discord, but I kind of like, so basically I just like slide in, see what's happening, and then I like bounce out because typically I'm like, if y'all knew like at my schedule these days, like I really started doing a lot more filming and editing so that I could just be a little bit more ahead, and so I've been doing a lot. She's
on top of her shit.
So
you are. For how many videos you told me are filmed so far? I'm just like,
oh my god!
I mean, it happens when you don't have a lot of money. You think about all the logistics, where you're just like, that would be amazing. That costs a lot of money and space. That's hard in this city.
Yeah.
Oh, a Dalmatian. Oh.
This guy living near me has.
Hey, Bethany.
Hi, Bethany. Like the largest. I don't know that it's just a Dalmatian. Like I'm gonna have to take a picture of it the next time I see it, so you can see, because it's huge. Like it's huge. But I think maybe it's because he's old. But he's a enormous dog, and he just like looks really annoyed by everything. Because Dalmatians are actually kind of.
I feel like they get really, really big. I don't know. I feel like I've seen that. Like I've seen some Dalmatians where I'm like, oh, that's a big dog. Ooh, new puppy. Oh, that's amazing.
Yay.
Oh, the read is hilarious. The read is so good.
Then I need to add that to my
I mean,
list.
sometimes it's not hilarious. Sometimes it's like so real that you're just like, oh god, but it's hilarious.
Well, good. I'm looking forward to this. So, Bo, what are you doing? So now that we're like 20 minutes in, why don't we
Yes.
tell y'all what we've come for? This is what you came for. No. This one's huge, Emily. Like, if I take a picture of this dog, it's a grown man that's walking this dog, and the dog is like almost up to his waist. So but it's a Dalmatian. It's weird. So Emily and I were talking, and this is like an amalgam of like many different things that I've seen and she's seen, and just stuff we've seen on YouTube and Instagram. And even when I watch people's videos, like a constant need for beauty influencers to feel like they have to like say something regarding the size of their makeup collection. And so it just feels like they're often trying to make excuses for it. And it's like, and the reason they're making excuses for it, I feel, is because there's so many people minding their makeup collection, like minding it to a degree that they should not be minding it. Like, it's none of your business. Even if it's driving someone into financial ruin, it's still not your business that like they're losing their house and all of that stuff. Like, if that's what they want to do, that's what they're going to do. But like, so we just kind of wanted to talk about that and how it's, because for instance, like being a beauty YouTuber, you really you shouldn't have to excuse it at all, realistically. Like, you shouldn't, because like part of what you're doing here is reviewing beauty products. So you can't review beauty products if you don't have any beauty products.
Well, and I mean, that's like the crux of like the challenge as a beauty creator. Like, I feel like Audra and I talk about this a lot, both on our channel and just in personal conversations, where we're like, we're not buying shit we're not interested in. Like, I'm not buying things I'm not interested in. Does that mean I'm still shopping more than I might shop if I didn't have a channel? I don't know. I honestly don't think so. Maybe I wouldn't grab things up right when they first launched, but for me, with how I shop with indie brands, I'm just like, okay, I really want. Is everything okay?
Bo ran out of his Fiji water. We're not going to talk about it.
I was just basically saying how, like, you know, we talked about how this idea of like, oh, if I didn't have a beauty channel, my collection would be so much smaller. But I actually don't feel that way. I feel like maybe it's because I've spent so many years watching beauty YouTube and fallen in love with so many indie brands that, like, I don't think my collection would be much different. And also, I guess even if it would be different, like, why is that important? Why do we need to talk about that? If we're not toxically shopping, why is that an important focus that we need to make a whole video about it or multiple videos about it?
Yeah, I find that weird. Like, it just seems that we're essentially trying to, like, we're watching people's pockets for no reason. And it is very frustrating because it's just like sometimes I feel like I have to preface a haul video by just being like, my rent is paid, my car is paid, my bills are paid, like everything's paid.
Yeah.
And then I have, like, because the thing with me is, even before all of this happened, I tend to have a large amount of discretionary income because I am a single person with a dog. I don't have children. I have a very low car payment. When I got divorced, I completely changed my finances specifically because I had to get everything in order because I was paying for stuff by myself. So there were a lot of things that I had to fix, and I did that for years. And now here I am. And it's only been really this past year that I started to have like a large amount of discretionary income to be able to just like do with as I will. And, you know, virtually every payday when I was working, like, because I got paid every Friday, I bought stuff. Like, I bought stuff like stuff that I wanted. And like, even now, everything that's coming to me is stuff I want. Like, for instance, I would not have purchased the Oasis, the Cosmic Oasis, if I didn't want it. You know what I mean? Like, it sounds all well and good to have it to review. But the reality is I did want the palette. I wanted to play with it. I wanted to see how it worked. That red is calling to me. So I was like, I'm going to buy that, and there's a few other things that I purchased where I purchased it because I wanted to purchase it.
And I agree that, I mean, even so this is like, this like boils it right down, and I can't agree more. I think Lydia says, I think it comes down to women wasting money on frivolous things, like women getting shamed for being interested in their appearance, and having ton of makeup just means you're vain.
Yes.
And that's the thing is, and I think Lacey also talks about that a lot. I know Fefi mentioned Lacey earlier, and she really framed it out to me of like, look, my main hobby and passion is makeup. I like, she's more into gaming now, but like when she talked about, she's like, I'm not a gamer. I don't have like 10 hobbies where I'm spreading my money. Like, I put my money towards a thing I'm really passionate about, which is makeup. And thus I'm buying a lot of it. For her, she was getting gifted a lot of it, like from people, not as PR. And it really put in perspective of like, yeah, like for me, I don't have kids. I have cats. I don't have yes, I live in Brooklyn, so I do have a higher rent, but like I don't have a car payment. There's things where I'm just like, yeah, a lot of my money goes towards beauty, towards makeup, towards skincare, but it's like the thing that I'm excited about, the thing that I feel like this connection towards, and that was before I had a channel. And so the idea that like the fact that we're spending money on makeup is somehow lesser than and deserves more criticism is such a toxic perspective. And it really frustrates me when I see other women feeding into this misogynistic view of how women shouldn't be like spending their money that way. Like, it's not allowed, it's not appropriate. And it's like,
it's weird.
It's our money. It's like, and even if it's not your own money, if it's gifted from your husband or boyfriend or family or something, if they say do with this whatever you want, then it's technically still your money.
Yeah, and it's like, because I've just watched two creators that I respect and enjoy so greatly, Tina the Fancy Face and Angelica Nyquist. And at some point, and I've done it too, I'm sure you have, but at some point in each of their hauls, they had to be like, this is a safe space, no judgment. Like, we're all doing that. Like, this is a no judgment zone. Like, do not judge us for like these.
Both of their hauls were amazing. Like Tina's haul, I was Marco Poloing you. I'm like, that brush, like, and it was like, it wasn't like, oh my god, she spent that much money on a brush. It was like, she did that, she wanted it and she bought it. Like, yeah, it just, and it's oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just, you had clicked on Xavier's comment earlier, and I was just looking at that just because, like, it's weird because you really don't see this even in the beauty boy space. You don't see it there. You don't see them ever really saying like, oh, I went crazy, or I bought too much stuff, or don't look at me funny. Like, I feel like it's distinctly female that this is happening. Like, that it's distinctly female that we feel that we have to excuse and justify our purchases all the way around. And we don't ever, like, it's very frustrating because, like, and I remember that even when I was married, and it was one of the things where I was just like, you know what, this is why I don't like you, because I just started to feel like everything he wanted to do, it was perfectly acceptable. But anytime I wanted to spend money, it became like a whole conversation about like how I was with finances. Like, I agreed that I had a shopping addiction to get him off my back. Like, there was stuff that I just would agree to so he would leave me alone. Really, it was just like, I don't like you, so I'm buying things to make me happy since I have to live in this house with you. But it's like, like right now I'm buying
and now you're buying shit because you want it and you're happy and you're doing great and you just want to put colorful shit on your face.
I really do.
I agree with this, in that any hobby that women are in are generally judged. But especially if it's a hobby that comes with a lot of money being invested. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, if you're knitting and you're just buying a little yarn here and there, oh, how wholesome and sweet, and they're making something, but you're interested in tech, you're interested in makeup, you're interested in cooking, upgrading, pots or pans, or buying more high-end food, or as Mo was talking about, Mo spends more money because of allergies and also probably because of an interest in cooking. Making an assumption.
Yeah.
And everyone wants to shame women on how they spend their money, how they handle their consumerism is somehow worth judgment. Dude,
Oh my God, that was like hardcore cat.
I literally had to lift him up off the computer because he's just like stomping on the keyboard, and I'm like, you're gonna press like exit and I'm gonna lose everything. So
Yeah,
sorry about that.
and I did see the As Told by Kenya video, and that hit very close to home for me because I was
Yes.
talking to Emily about it as well. Because like, as a Black woman, this is a regular occurrence in our lives and in my life. I've had that happen where it's like I got something and I was excited about it, and then you have inevitably someone in the comments who has some shit to say about my bag. Like, and I'm just like, did anybody ask you? Like, well, you should have invested your money. You should. I'm like, I don't recall asking you for your opinion.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Exactly.
You know?
There wasn't a question in this like statement, like let's say we upload a video and I'm talking about a haul. Like, there's never a question of like, should I have bought all this? It's just like, okay, here's what I bought. So there's
Yeah.
nothing to answer. There's no question. So don't give me any answers.
Yeah, because I put my because like my last batch of Ulta, I was like, you know what, I'm just not going to do a haul because I felt like awkward about doing it, and so it was just like I'm
Yeah.
not going to do it. So like, because I already felt weird enough doing the Marc Jacobs one, and I was like, everything's on sale, like it was all on sale. So like, first of all, I shouldn't have even had to do that, but I felt compelled to have to do it. But then after having done that haul, I was like, I really don't want to do my Ulta one because I don't want to get any shit. So I just left it, and like now I have all this amazing shit. You will see it throughout the upcoming.
Well, and we've had this conversation multiple times where like we both didn't feel like in the midst of the pandemic it didn't really feel right to be posting calls, yet in the midst of a pandemic is when the both of us had money to spend on makeup, for me in a way that I hadn't had in years.
Yeah.
Like extra spending money. Thank you, unemployment. The whole fact that I get getting paid more on unemployment than I was in my freelance job for the last, or even in my paid job for the last many, many years is fucked up. But I'm also embracing it and I'm buying the shit that's been on my wish list for a long ass time. Or new releases where I'm like, ooh, I saw it, I bought it. But I also felt really weird just like sharing it in that way. So instead I'm like, okay, I'm gonna sprinkle it in and do different videos where you can see I'm getting new things, but I'm not just like, here's a haul. And now I'm like, maybe I should have just been like, here's a haul.
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
I feel like it's something that I have to work on because like I get it, and like, and I think I even say this, but one of the reasons I declutter so much is because I do find that it's like, for me personally, it's a personal thing for me that if I'm going to keep bringing shit into my house, I need to be keeping a conscious eye on my collection, because like it's tourist bullshit, but like I have to keep a conscious eye on my collection because to me it's like, okay, I need to see what I have. It's such a weird thing, and maybe it's not weird, but it's the way that I am. I have to see what I have because you can be filling up your cart with all this shit, and then before I like make any actual choices, I look and I go, I really don't want another 3 lipsticks. Like shut it down. Don't buy, like put those lipsticks back. So it's stuff that just keeps me, one, being a conscious consumer, but two, always being aware of what in my collection I'm using or I'm loving, and what I'm not loving. So that way I'm building the stuff that I want, but anything that doesn't fit anymore, I let that go, because I feel like it's really part of collecting our makeup too, is letting go what's not working. That's like my feeling for me, is like letting go of stuff, because I think that can be where it gets dangerous, is where you're like, your house becomes a makeup hoarder. Like that can be a little bit dangerous, where you're like, I can't see anything amongst the piles of makeup. But
Yes.
it's just like, yeah. And even before, like when I was working through this, because I was working through working until like mid-April, so even then I was buying every week. Like I bought a TV, I bought stuff every week. It was not unusual for me to do it. But every time I had stuff for a haul, I shit you not, I always I'm always like keeping it all in the box. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do a haul video, and then I get stressed out and I stress myself out. So fuck, like, never mind.
Yeah.
And I just
And
like
for me, I had a similar stress, but a different reaction. Where like, actually, I had a basket that I would keep new things in, and it was helpful because I would reach for those things when I was like doing a look for a live stream or filming, but I never just like did the haul. And now I'm like, oh my god, if I tried to haul everything I got since like March,
oh baby Jesus,
it would be like a 2 hour long live stream. Like it would be ridiculous. But I'm happy. Like literally, I would say 95%, if not more like 99, but I would say like 90 to 95% of what's come into my collection, I'm really happy with. That's
Same.
not even the case a year ago. Like that's not even the case 6 months ago. Like I've been able to make purchases for brands that I've had on my to buy list for a long time. And I want to go back to like somebody else. I think Bethany mentioned how she has the money to both like shop and also donate. Like same. Like it's not like I'm just been like, oh, I'm shopping. Like literally I've been able to like if I see, and this is not like a oh my god, look at me. This is just like if I see a GoFundMe or a Venmo or something for someone personally that I'm like, I could give them some money, I've been doing it. I've been donating where I can. Like, it's also like that also shouldn't affect how you like police someone's collection also. Because just because they're not showing you every purchase they make or every bit of where their money goes doesn't mean they're not doing good shit with their money.
Yeah,
It's just so frustrating.
I feel like you can't win because it would. I swear because like first of all, I've been keeping all my receipts because when tax time comes, like I have to do all this shit for YouTube, right? So I've been keeping all these receipts. You guys, if me and Emily did a full like quarantine, we would never leave. It would honestly be me being like, oh, and I got this. Oh, because okay, so I have been on a bronzer hunt for a while. I'm finally almost complete with getting all the bronzers that I was trying to try. There's one more coming, and then.
But I think the other thing that I wanted
skincare. You know, when I run out of skincare, I buy all of it at once. Like when I run out of skincare, like I don't know what triggers in my brain, and it must be like part Taurus. But like the second I run out, I'm like, oh my God, what's happened? And I just start buying skincare. Like they're not going to sell anymore. Like they're like, we're done selling skincare now. And I'm like, like, that's what it feels like. So I bought so much skincare because I want to get to a point where I don't run out of it. Like I hate running out of it. I don't mind running out of a few pieces here and there, but sweet baby Jesus, when I turned around, I was like, I don't have any more serums left. What the fuck?
Also, this is another part of it. I've become patrons to so many more people, and that gives me so much joy. Like being like, oh my God, I've been able to like do this and this and this and this. And it's like these little things that for me feel like build my own like feeling of community within my life. But yeah, I think that it's ridiculous that people harp on like what people buy, how much you're donating, rather than focusing on the rich, like the absolute like stagnant, the space of wealth that they're not doing shit with their money. They're not.
And they steady trying to make us go out and die. I'm so over it. Like they're steady out here just like, get back to work, take your kids. And you're like, I don't think this is a good plan. And they're like, do it. And you're like, well, why don't you take yours first, rich people? Exactly. Take your kids to the public schools and show us it's safe.
I mean, I think that that YouTube is generally a good thing for me. Like, it's generally a good thing. But I can see, because it's like, I'm not like, oh my God, I want to be a huge channel, but I always have growth in mind. And I see what happens on other channels that are larger. Once you hit the, I would say, like, 7K to 10K range, it's like all of a sudden you're getting criticism for things and you're just like, what the fuck? Like, this is just the makeup I wanted to buy.
And especially because people suddenly start being like, oh, well, and I've caught myself doing it too. And they're like, well, you're always shilling shit. Well, of course they are. Because here's the thing. People in a way have to like have links and have stuff to shill, because and you have to be able to invest back into your channel. That's the reality. So when people have links, like that's one of the reasons people want you to click on their links so much, is because like the for instance, the magic links, they do get a commission off of that. That commission goes directly towards shit you wanted to see, right? So if you're sitting there being like, I want to see the latest Gucci lipsticks, well, like everybody ain't made of Gucci money. Like, so like all these other things are what help them to be able to acquire those, because we're not all sponsored. We don't all get PR. So that being like a large majority of us don't. So that being the case, if I have to pony up the money to get like a whole shit ton of Gucci lipsticks, well, I need income coming from somewhere. So that like that's where it comes there. I do have like a bunch of shit that I'm probably gonna haul, like do hauls for it, because honestly, like now that we're talking about, I've reached a point where I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna haul some shit. And that's gonna be the beginning of the haul. Just me going, fuck it, I'm gonna haul some shit.
Abby said, finally catching up, and it's always so weird when people comment on other people's videos about how much money they spent. If you want to talk about your relationship with money, it's your life. I would agree. Like, I just think. Yeah, and I think so often, like, I'm the same way. Like, okay, I got a bunch of stuff from Ulta. And so Kara, Audra, Barry, and I are like have a group Marco Polo, and we've just Audra, you started this. We'll just like unbox with each other. And the other day I got this Ulta order in where I had bought a bunch of skincare, because not a bunch, but I bought a couple of things because like Vanilla & Co. was buy one get one 40% off. So I tried a couple of things from them because their Clean at Zero is the tits. Audra was right. But I also bought like maybe 10 pairs of nails because they were all on sale. And I showed them all in the Marco Polo, and I was like, oh my God, and there's more, and there's more. And it's just, Audra was like, it's cool. Like, it's cool. And I'm like, you're right. But also, like, why do I feel this way? This is so stupid. This is so dumb. I'm just like, don't like my, yeah. And that too. Yeah. It's like, if you want it, buy it.
Yeah, because like, listen, everything that I have is stuff I wanted, and that's why, like, y'all know, if you've been here a while, you know what I always say. Do not come to me for all the new shit, because if my ass don't like it, I'm not buying it. Like, I don't care. I don't want to buy something that I don't want. Like, that's why I don't have the Natasha Denona, whatever the fuck palette. What is it, bronze? That's why I don't have it. Because, like, obviously, because I look at it, what I just called it, like, whatever the fuck palette. Like, I obviously was not interested in having that in my collection. So, like, if I spent that kind of money for a palette I did not want in the first place, listen, yo, it's not going to go well. It's going to go poorly.
Even to be honest with the drench items, like I bought a black liquid liner because I was curious, not because I need a black liquid liner or because I even do wings. I was just curious because I'm like, okay, I hear good things. And even with the palette, I'm excited for the Cosmic Oasis palette. Is it my exact dream color story? No. But the fact that I can try a new brand, to me, support a creator that I think is fucking like amazing, who's also very supportive of other people, and be able to explore this new to me brand, like those to me are reasons that can outweigh just like, oh, I love this color story. Like sometimes it's like, and I'll probably even talk about that in a video when I do it, where I'm like, is this my dream color story? No. But also like, that's who I am. I'm going to be honest about like, I will pair this with other things, or I wanted to try it out. Like, and I still think that doesn't make my purchase just like, oh, you're doing it for the views. Because me buying a small black-owned indie brand to review it, that's not for the views. Like, I'm excited to do it. That's not for the views, though.
Thank you. That's not where you're going to get your views at. Like, all you had to say was,
like, I hope a lot of people watch it. I do, and I hope I love everything that I bought.
Yeah.
Oh, Abby, yeah. I have so many nails. Like, I don't even know what I want to try, what I want to wear next. But yeah,
right now. Like, how many packs do you have right now? Because I have like 7 packs.
I have like 10. I have like 10. At least 10. Yeah. So, Keisha's birthday is tomorrow. Happy early birthday, Keisha.
Oh my God. Y'all, so listen, people think that me and Keisha are the same person, and we're not. Obviously, look, I'm here and she's there. Are we foundation twins? Yes, we are. But that's neither here nor there. We are different people. Just much
Yes,
funnier
you are
than
different people.
I
Yeah, also this, I don't want to watch these reviews. When YouTubers buy shit to review
Yeah.
that they aren't interested in, that's not the video I want to watch. And I can feel it. I know
You
people
really
think that
can.
they can like, you can feel it.
You really can, because they're like, so this is like, and I'm like, listen, because here's the thing is, especially as I've started getting more and more like indie leaning, where because it's just so exciting. Like independent brands are so exciting. There's just so much fun things that they're doing that you just don't find mainstream. And in fact, like I had a little bit, oh my god, I'm going to do
Jackie's
that.
video was so good.
Yes, but
Etsy is like a black hole. I'm gonna have to bother you, Abby. You'll have to, if you don't do a video about them, I'm just gonna DM you like, tell me about the Etsy nails.
same, because I have like 2 in my car, like 3 in my car, and I was like, I really wanted to get the fancy ones because I want the ballerina ones, and I really want the ballerina ones. Like I want the ballerina style, and I want them to fit my big nail beds because I have big nail beds.
When Jackie described that they were like acrylics and they're like a little firmer, I was like, yes, because like I remember I tried static nails a couple of years ago, and like it was like a Nicole Guerrero collab or somebody like that from YouTube World, and they were very, very thin and flimsy. So like if I tried to use my nail to do anything, I would just like feel them bend and flex, and I was like, I can't do it. Like I don't like that feeling with my natural nails or my fake nails.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I'm like, listen, there's probably next week I'm probably gonna buy them because I want them. Because like, listen, the way that she put this shit together, like I just gonna have to get some of them fancy ass nails because watching Jackie Aina has saved my life on how you put on like fake nails in general.
Yes.
If you haven't figured, like if you
Yes.
haven't done that, do it. But like
the two-sided glue, the glue on the nail and glue on the fake nail, glue on the real nail, so good. Clicking on affiliate links is not wrong. It's just that people, viewers especially that have never posted a video, aren't doing social media on like a strong regular basis, don't understand how much work that goes into it. And so people like to judge others for pushing their affiliate links. Now, I talked about this
where people didn't know that people were making money off of their links.
Well, yes, you should obviously clarify that it is an affiliate link, and that if somebody were to click on it and shop from there, that you can make money from that. The only time that I get annoyed by it is the amount of people that have started using their Instagram as a way to post products and affiliate links, because that's not why I follow you on Instagram. And so that's where I get a little frustrated, but I'm like, I realize you're playing the game, you're getting your money, especially if you don't have the swipe up link and you just need to post it on your actual feed. I understand it. I just don't really love it. Yeah,
I mean, like the biggest issue with the affiliate links was that people weren't disclosing that they were making money off of them. But it's like, so there was this huge swing for a while where everyone just didn't want anybody to be sponsored and like all this stuff. Personally, to this day, I like, as long as you tell me you're sponsored, I don't give a shit. Like literally every other video of Abby's could be sponsored. I don't give a fuck. It's still going to be Abby, right? I'm still going to watch her content.
I'm still going to be there.
I'm going to be happier about that because then that means that she can elevate her content even more for me. So like, get sponsored. I think it's weird people get so upset by that. And now you see people like say, get that bag, sis. But then Josh even came back and said, hey, instead of saying that, say something about the company that they're sponsored by so that they know that it was worth their while to sponsor that creator and continue to do so.
Yeah, especially about the product. So like, if Audra comes back in the future and is able and gets a sponsorship from Nomad, rather than being like, Audra, get that bag, be like, oh, that Nomad eyeshadow palette, yeah, I was curious about it and your swatches really helped. Or like, oh, I wasn't that into it, but after seeing it on you, I'm like, like just something related to the actual product, not even just the brand, but the product, because then you're showing your favorite creators, their sponsors, that like you're paying attention beyond just like, I'm here for Audra no matter what. Because that's not really why they care about collaborating with you.
Yeah, they're looking for a return on investment. So they're looking on an ROI.
Exactly.
If they're not getting an ROI, then they don't really care to be there. And so like that's why we talk about like, don't bother people about their makeup collections and all of this kind of stuff, specifically because, again, I'm a beauty YouTuber. So like, if I don't have any beauty stuff to share with you, then what the fuck do I do on this channel? Like, because like, for instance, Bailey Sarian does true crime, but she does beauty as well.
Yeah.
You know, she does a look every single time she does that. Like, she does a look, and it's a
and she's using her PR.
Thank you.
She's using her PR, her sponsored, because like I remember someone in the chat mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, because all shade for this brand, where she was doing this blue eye look and she was struggling with the blend out. And then she finally said something, and then like you look in the description box and it's like Makeup Geek shadows, and I was like, oh, that's new PR, but she was not, you know, she wasn't like roasting them, but she also wasn't glazing over the fact that, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it gives her a little bit more freedom since she's not necessarily reviewing products. So she has a little bit more freedom to like talk shit about something or really like hype something up. And when she does like something, then you know that she actually likes it, because like that's not really what she does on her channel. Bethany, so for those of you who are watching on the replay, I'm going to go ahead and read this in case you're listening. Question, Abby, Audra, Emily, do you recommend waiting until you have a great camera to start a channel, or do you think you should start with what you have? Start with what you have. I started with a fucking shitty laptop webcam. It was garbage. Like, didn't even have the clarification that a cell phone camera has. It was hot garbage. Okay. I bought a webcam. I was using that until like last month. Last month is the first month that I have a very good camera now, and even that I'm like, how do I work the lighting in this bitch? Like, because I finally figured it out for my webcam, and now I'm like, there's like dark shadows coming up from places. I don't know how to fix that.
Yeah. So I, up until last month, was filming on my iPhone. Now, a lot of Apple iPhones these days have iMovie on the phone. So you can technically edit on your phone. I then moved from there to a service called WeVideo that's like a web-based editor. I don't love that as much, but it was what I needed to do because I only had a Chromebook. But once I got a PC, I've been using Wondershare Filmora, not the Pro one, the like 9 one. I recommend getting the lifetime, like just pay for it in one thing. Don't do the monthly thing.
Yeah.
Use your iPhone. If you need some soft boxes, I've gotten mine off of Amazon. I know Amazon is the devil. I agree that it's shit, but if you have natural lighting, use natural lighting. I don't have that. So like I got a mic that was like under $20. I got soft boxes, or if you just have a ring light, you're probably okay. And then I did recently buy the same camera set that Audra had because it was a great deal with the Rode mic, the camera.
Yeah.
It's a whole new curve. Don't invest money because you might start doing this and realize like, I fucking hate editing videos, or I hate filming videos, and you're going to spend, I spent $600 on this kit. Don't spend $600. Don't spend money until you actually know that, even if like, I don't love editing, but I know it well enough that like, I still want to do videos because I enjoy the return on it.
Exactly. Like I would definitely say film on your kit, because like, sorry, I didn't mean to click that. I did not mean to.
You have lighting, you're already ahead of the game.
Yeah, if you have lighting, you're good. Film, don't worry so much. He wanted to come outside and lay on the pavement because it's cooled off. I'm sorry, guys. But that's the benefit of being able to stream on my phone now, is I can actually take him outside when he wants to go outside while I'm still hanging out with you. But like, don't stress about having the best setup immediately, because I know that there are some who will come out and be like, well, people expect quality. Like, listen, people come for you first and foremost. If you don't have the best quality on the planet, like, you're going to still survive. You're still going to make it. Like, you're still going to be okay. But you need to know that you like doing it. Don't run out and buy all the best shit and then be like, I fucking hate doing this. Like, because get used to the fact that, like, Like when I first started doing this in 2016, like I said before, I didn't even know I was actually posting to YouTube because like I'm old. But like once I started realizing what YouTube was and like what I was doing, I started having fun with it. And it became a nice outlet, right? And the more that you post, you have to start realizing that there is going to be a period of time, unless you're like a Hiram who just skyrockets, there's going to be a period of time where you're literally making videos for like 12 people. And you just got to love those 12 people all the time and just like be glad that those 12 people show up every day. And then one day that 12 is going to turn into 50 people. And that 50 people is going to turn into 100 people. And then 100 people. But there are so many people that I started YouTube with who, when I tell you that they fizzled out really fast because they thought it was just going to be like a skyrocket to fame. I think a lot of people thought that. That they were just going to hop on YouTube and just like be making millions of dollars in seconds, but it's not. It's a grind, man. You work your ass off. It's a grind I enjoy. It's a grind I love. If
agreed,
if this was something I could do like as my job currently, like if I was currently making enough money to just be doing YouTube right now, that is exactly what I would be doing. Like that's what I would be doing because it brings me so much joy and I have so much fun and I always have so many ideas and you guys give me ideas and interacting with y'all. It is perfect for my crazy introverted ass. So it works really well for me.
I agree. I agree with that. And I'm looking forward to your supposed cringy content, Bethany. I would say if for some reason, if you are filming on an iPhone, I do think getting an external mic, like one that you can plug into the jack of the phone is very helpful. Cause I was filming on my iPhone without a mic for months and I kept getting comments of like, your audio is too low, your audio is too low. So that helped. But again, I spent like maybe $25, probably less to get that. Also, people can fuck off with this kind of advice. People can I don't have anything else to say besides just fuck off with that advice. Also, I want to hear what you have to say, Bethany. So Bethany says, I want to rep us 40-year-olds. I've been in beauty 24 years and I got shit to say. One, I would have had no fucking clue that you're 40. I would have been like, oh, she's like 25 in her profile picture. Yes.
Sorry about all the kerfluffle. I mean, here's the thing.
I love Abby. 2010 YouTubers walk, so 2020 YouTubers can run.
Yeah, I mean, Bethany, I am 40 years old. And that's why, like, you hear me joke all the time being like, I don't want to hear a 25-year-old talk to me about their fine lines. Not in a shitty way because I'm like, listen, you're 25. You can bounce back. You have time. I've lost the time already. So now I've got to tell you what you can do.
Save yourself. It's what you just said.
So like,
this.
Go ahead.
People come for personality. Start with what you have and upgrade later.
Yeah, because like, listen, one of my most watched videos is a cringy ass video with terrible cuts of me trying like this serum. It was like the Manyo serum, and it's like Manyo Skin Challenge or something. Korean beauty, because I've been into Korean beauty for a long time. That's how old I am. Back then I was like 36. So I did this at 36 years old. My ass is sitting here. This video, poorly lit, poor cuts. Like I had already bought Wondershare Filmora. I don't know what forethought I had to just go ahead and buy it, but I was already paying for it. I was like, I may as well pay for it. Like, fuck it. Because otherwise it had the Filmora stamp and I didn't like that. And that was when I was making like almost very little money, so I was doing it monthly. But man, that's still one of my most watched videos. Like, and it's garbage. Like, no offense, I'm not mad at you for being young. I don't want to hear about your fine lines because my old ass can't do anything. Listen, come talk to me when you have titty fine lines. All right, when you got the fine lines in your cleavage, then come talk to me. All right, good, because that shows up.
This is a good point. Yeah. The 40s are a great time to start. By then, there are less bucks to give for haters.
You know what? That is the best thing that I do have is like literally somebody, like there was a video for those of you who are new, because I feel like there's a lot of y'all. There was a video that I did a long time ago where somebody had some nerve to say some shit about the wig I had. And they're like, oh, baby, what you got on your head? I was like, I didn't expect anybody to think that wig was real. I don't style my wigs. That's not the bitch I am. I'm not ready to glare. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm not ready to glare. I'm not styling this shit. Like, I'm just
her wigs.
Going. Like,
or Mel Thompson with her wigs lately. Mel Thompson and the wigs. Oh my.
Like, I always
want to ask her where she gets her wigs, and then like don't ask because you're gonna get a link that's like a $500 wig that you're gonna be like, oh. The worst hair I've ever had.
Yes, because I'm telling you, because when I made that video, I was living in a room. Thank you. Thank you. The video I made, like to Abby's point, like I lived in a bedroom. So I'm sitting on the only piece of furniture I had in there, the bed, with the headboard as my backdrop, putting this shit on my face and like doing like day by day. Like, and I think I was able to insert pictures at one point. And I was like, look at me, I'm so fucking fancy. Like, listen, I don't.
You know what's funny though? I can't think of headboard now without thinking of Kenya's video about why black women can't have anything. You know, headboard having like people.
You don't have no job. You don't have no headboards. All these bored, stupid people running around without headboards. I was like, shit.
And I just have to agree with Xavier of like this. Okay, so I think if you are in the mental headspace to start, meaning like you're not in a very delicate like mental like space, start now and just put it out. And like if you're in this chat, you have Legutta behind you.
Yes.
You know, come onto the Discord, share it, even if you want to share it as an unlisted link, share it, let people watch. Because here's the thing is that no matter what, most of us that are watching this right now are going to think our first videos are worse than they really are.
Yeah.
And they might be cringy, but the basic technology that's in our phones is better than, as Abby said, what 2010 YouTube had like at a high price point.
Yeah. Because I mean, you're a loser. You have no headboard. Well, yeah, because like think about it this way: like I didn't have a good mic, I didn't have good lighting, I had a shitty computer laptop. That was the camera I was using, and I'm just like sitting there doing that. So like the reality of the fact that like one of my most watched videos is that, and then another one was like me trying some clothing service that I can't really like. It was basically where you could get a personal shopper and it would have all the shops in like one place basically. So you would pick some stuff and then it would all ship from wherever. But those videos weren't fantastic. And here's the other thing. Everybody has a different style, right? So like I tried to do the thing where I was like, oh, let me prep and prepare and like do all this stuff. That only works on very specific videos of mine. Like I have to, like the PR video that Lacey blew up for me and like changed my whole world. Spooky lips and fat hips. That one I actually, because the thing about that is I tried to film that several times before and I couldn't keep all my thoughts together because I have ADD. So like diagnosed. So because I have ADD, I had difficulty trying to like get it together. So finally I was like, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jot down my points and, you know, go from there. And I didn't jot down anything long. I still have the notes because I was like so proud of that. Because I was proud of like the fact that I just followed my little.
This was a great video,
and I was like, "Go!"
amazing.
So, but for the most part, what you guys see is me literally going, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to talk about this, and then I just go. I don't have like the impetus to, because most of the time, if I try to start jotting down notes, if for like just a random video or whatever, I end up getting lost and confused by what I'm trying to do. I'm like, what does this note say? What am I trying to do? Oh yeah, it also does this. Like if I do that, then I'm not my authentic self. So I'm just like, yeah, this lip gloss is fucking bomb and it makes your lips shiny as fuck. Like that's me. Like that is who I am. And I like need that to come through. You don't have a head for it.
And to like go into what Audra was saying is also like make the videos you like to watch. Even if you don't think you can do it because you're just starting out and blah, 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 it's all bullshit that we feed ourselves to stop ourselves. So, like, if you love anti-hauls and, you know, I'm thinking of you, Bethany, if you're 40-something and you're like, these 20-somethings don't know shit, this stuff that's coming out is bullshit, do an anti-haul. If you love makeup tags, pick up makeup. Like makeup tags is how I started. I did Georgia's makeup collection tag because it was a tag that you could do even if you weren't like a beauty YouTuber. It felt like there were questions that were like accurate or like relevant to my collection and myself. Do the thing that you're most interested in or feel like you can do in that moment, because trying to do the thing that like you think you should start with is never gonna feel right.
Yeah, because like I can go back, like there's a playlist somewhere, it's called Terrible Tutorials. And I called it that on purpose because I was like, I'm terrible at tutorials. It's terrible tutorials. And it's just me
I love that.
awkwardly putting on makeup to music. And like, maybe I should react to one of those shit. But like, the point was, even back then, when I was like trying to do my subscription and unboxings, I still really liked doing beauty and would find a way to incorporate beauty into my channel because I was like, well, I got a beauty box, so I may as well put on all the shit. Weird shit's about to happen to y'all. So like, make the shit you enjoy. Like everything.
You got this, Emily. I just want to say.
Yeah. I make the stuff that I like doing. Like if I want to watch it, then like I'm going to make that because I want, like there's certain stuff I don't enjoy watching from anybody. Like if they do that video, I'm like, not interested. And it's not their fault. And here's the fun fact. When I have creators and friends that I support, and this is something you should all definitely know, if you have creators you support, you don't always have to actually be actively watching their video. Just turn it on and go do some shit. I do it all the time. Like everybody who's done their Natasha Denona palettes right now, guys, do you think I actually watched any of it? No, I turned it on and did the dishes or washed my brushes or did other stuff and let it play just because listen, I'm going to give my friend their views. I'm going to make sure they get their fucking money, but I don't care about that. And I'm not
just, it makes me think of how you would show up. Like if your friend is trying to learn improv and they have a terrible comedy improv show and you show up because you care about them. This is pre-pandemic. Or they're in a band and they're like opening for some other band and they're like, I don't really like their music, but I'll go and I'll buy a drink and I'll like show my face.
Emily, I need to make you one. I have to do it from like another. I'll do it. Like I can't do it from here because I'm using my phone for this stream, but I'll figure out how to do it at some point. I'm like, I'll figure it out.
Yes, you got this. It's intimidating to start. I watched for years, and again, it's not always for you. Like, you know, I know that our friend Sincerely Alex Makeup, I think she's in the chat. She gets some questions like, oh, when are you going to start a YouTube channel? And while I'm like, yes, do it, I also realize that like it's a huge world out here. And sometimes you think you're into the idea and then you actually do it. And then you're like, oh, fuck this. So that's why I'm very much pro, like just start with what you have. Start with whatever, even if it's just the phone in your pocket, even if you don't have any lighting, any mic, like just play around with it, start with what you have and see if it's even something that like sparks any kind of joy in you.
And then also remember that your audiences don't necessarily transfer from platforms, because that was like the biggest thing that I saw when I was starting in like 2016, which is when the boom really started, like blew up for beauty YouTube. Where it just started showing up everywhere from like what I saw, because I played on YouTube for a while, but like 2016 was really the year that it just went pow. But one of the things, I don't know what I was going to say there, but like I forgot. ADD.
Maybe did you practice for a long time before actually uploading?
Oh, here's what it was. So a lot of the things that I saw was that people would have like big Instagram followings for the time. You know, they would have 2,500 people, 1,600 people, whatever. Start a YouTube channel. Those people didn't want to come. Like those people were not like they were Instagram people. They were not YouTube people. And so a lot of them would be very frustrated because they thought that, you know, well, I have 1,600 people over here on Instagram and they love me. They're going to come over to YouTube. That did not happen for a lot of them. So a lot of them still have Instagrams, but they gave up their YouTube channel because they thought that they were just going to immediately like pop off because they had this following there. And then it didn't happen, because even large YouTubers start another channel, it doesn't go well. Large YouTubers decide that they're going to get on Twitch, it doesn't go well. Like, it doesn't always go perfectly well for you to switch platforms and have everybody go with you, because everybody doesn't want to. And also, you got to think about your cell phone space. Like, there's not like memory space, man. Like, they're just downloading these apps to follow you everywhere. And honestly, please don't follow me everywhere. That's a little bit creepy. I'm just kidding.
Also, I think this isn't why I didn't use a regular camera at first, but like, at least with the iPhone, the entire phone is your screen. So, I mean, you don't have like the fanciness of a DSLR, but I could at least see. I didn't see that well because glasses, astigmatism. But yeah. Filmora, Wondershare Filmora. Yeah.
That thing, first of all, it's so user friendly. It's actually very user friendly and very easy for you to figure stuff out. And the longer that you play with it, the more that you discover how to really play with the features in ways that you didn't know. So that's one of the things I really like about it, is it's quick for you to understand like how to do cuts. And then like, so there were lots of videos where it was just like cut when I first started, before I realized I could use the transitions. And I was like, ew. And once I started figuring out how to use the transitions, it becomes a different deal. So I think a lot of people, you know, when it comes to starting your, especially if you're looking at a beauty YouTube channel, what I will definitely say is don't stress about having to buy all the best makeup either, because when the benefit of a beauty YouTube channel, like, listen, there have not been a lot of great releases right now, honestly. But do you see any of these beauty YouTubers having like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? We're falling apart. No, most of them have other things that they can do for content. Like, they could do Get Ready With Me. They could be like Shop My Stash, you know, all this stuff that they like, all the beauty makeup and all that shit they have that they haven't been able to touch in a while. Now's the time to touch it. And that's what everybody's doing. They're like, yeah, I haven't been able to touch this and I haven't been able to touch that. And so it gives you that ability to be able to play with these other formats and other ideas, because that's the thing, is you have to keep, you know, ideas going and flowing, especially when you first start, because you don't have as many people with requests. So when you first start, you want to start having like ideas of what you want to do, even if it's the same thing over and over and over again. If all you do are get ready with me and like just talk about stuff, just do that. Because like now I'm in a place where, and obviously I am by far, like, by no means a large channel, but from where I was before to now, you guys give me so many different ideas that I jot them down. And then there's stuff that you guys do that gives me an idea for a video, and you don't know it until I do the video. You know, like reading your creepy comments, like y'all kind of started creeping me out. I was like, whoa.
It was so good. And I was like, this needs to continue, not to pressure you, but this needs to continue.
Oh, no, I have like 80 different of those in pipeline. So
yeah, I felt like it was probably like, I was probably at like 1,000+ subscribers before I was getting recommendations of things to do. So I definitely recommend, I have a Google Doc that I just throw in ideas that I have for videos. And I've been like, if it's like a tag where I'm answering questions and I've answered it in that doc, I try to keep it in there, because sometimes I'm looking back or I'm thinking about an old video and I'm like, what did I answer there? And rather than like having to rewatch myself, which I don't like to do so much, I can just go back to my doc and look things up. Yeah, I really like the Wondershare Filmora because it's feature rich enough, but it's not so intimidating to use. And as somebody who, like I said, I was using so for a long time I only had a Google Chromebook, which with a Chromebook, it's good in a lot of ways, but you can't download software. So last early fall, I ended up needing to get a new computer. You're hilarious, Keisha. So I'm gonna disagree with that. Yeah, I mean, Adobe also has editing software, but yes, you can have a React channel. There you go.
Kimberly, thank you.
Oh, Kimberly.
I keep my stories full. One of my friends here was like, she put me in her story, but like, does anybody else have a best friend whose story is like 19 years long? I was like, bitch. I try to keep stuff on there because like if I forget to like it reminds me to be active on it. By putting that much on it, it reminds me, like when I go back and refresh it, I'm like, oh shit, I need to like, keep on top of my Instagram stories. And I did, like, not for any reason like, oh my God, I gotta stay on, but I keep on top of it because I want to make sure, like, one, I like interacting with you guys. So that's pretty cool. You know what? I think I tried to download HitFilm and it wouldn't work for me, but also my computer is like hella old.
I was like, I've never heard of it, so I wanted to highlight that because I did not know. I need to do a bathroom break. I'll be right back.
All right, I will sit here. I roller react. See, I've never used iMovie because listen, I have an Android. I mean, for those of you who were on my stories, did y'all see that where that guy's like yelling in the rain? It's so fucking dramatic. There's this white guy and he's like, I just found out Black Twitter, it's not a different app. It's the same app. It's not on just Android. It's the same app. And he's just talking about how like he just discovered that Black Twitter is Twitter. And I watched that so many times, fell out laughing because I was like, dude. But it just, it kind of made me laugh because I started to realize like there are things like that really do come up often, right? Where people think that because people call it Black Twitter, that it's like a different Twitter. And it's like, no, it's just like it's a different part of, it's just a different part of Twitter. Just like, NSFW Twitter, like don't get stuck in there by accident. But I don't know, like, listen, there is a time of night on my Twitter where like, it's all in French, and then there's also fart porn. And I don't understand where it came from. I don't know what I've done to receive this, but that is what's happened to me on some nights. And I'm like, why is all of my Twitter in French? It's weird. Like all of the tweets from everybody are in French. And I was like, it's not a separate app. Oh, Keisha, I need to find a way to send that particular one to you because it's hilarious. Like it's dramatic because he's like in the rain, like yelling at it. And
I'm dying over that. I've seen the image, but I don't think I've seen the actual whole thing.
Yeah, the dude is like for real. I'm so sorry. Listen. No. Listen, okay. Let me just. Fart porn is a weird deal. Okay. So essentially, what happens is you see these people show up on your Twitter, and they normally say something like, I've eaten a bunch of beans, or they say what they have eaten, and then like explain, would you want me to fart bare-assed or in the jeans? And I'm like, none of those things. No, I'm good. I think what happened is I made mention of passing gas once in a comedic nature. And somebody, this is before I learned about Twitter and that you don't just follow people the fuck back. Okay. This is how I learned because somebody followed me. I followed them back. And now I don't remember who it was that started to, but now like every so often fart porn shows up on my timeline and I'm like, God damn it.
See, here's the thing, is you're always like, I follow everyone back. Like, here's my social, I follow everyone back. And I'm like, you're very generous to say that. I'm never going to say that. I've been on the internet for too long. I love a lot of y'all. I appreciate all of you. I'm not going to sit here and be like, I follow everyone back because that is an invitation for some bullshit.
I was following back and I've since learned some lessons and have stopped.
Thank you, Keisha. So, by the way, that's House of Uni, which is a black-owned indie brand in the color Wicked. It's a matte black lipstick, bullet lipstick. It's really nice. The creep wife chooses you. I don't know why this is so funny to me, but it is.
I know it's really weird that we call them microaggressions because we're like, well, micro, and I'm like, well, it really is just an aggression. Like,
yeah.
But I guess they're using it like they use microaggression to like show lie to me.
You could use make the things or make all the things or really any of them. I agree. Like really any of them in YouTube and make all the things, whatever. Nusha asked, do y'all have advice on how to be resilient when you get critical comments? My first advice is when you first set up your channel or right now, if there are certain things about your appearance or your life or your whatever that are trigger points for you or like tender points for you, put those in your block words. Put those in your block words. So
like monkey is blocked on my channel. You can't say like, and I know that seems weird, but I'm Black, so I'm fully aware of what people would say using the word monkey. So I have the word monkey blocked. I have the N word. I have the F word that rhymes with hag. I have that blocked. So yeah, so that. And then the other thing too is like, I mean, I'm old and I'm a Taurus who gives zero fucks about a lot of people that I don't know. So that's the biggest thing that I do is I'm like, why am I going to give a shit about somebody who doesn't even know me? Like there are people who consistently, and I'm sure if you guys watch Smokey Glow, you've seen it, who will consistently go on to tell her that she looks like Jay Leno or whatever. And that kind of energy is like just so gross. To me, it's just it's fucking disgusting. Like, what is the point in you going? So I just always remember that these are sad, weak ass little bitches. They ain't got nothing better to do, limp dicks and dry punanis. And that's how I move on.
So there's a section in your settings. If you're a creator, there's a section in your settings where you can add block words. And so generally speaking, YouTube will probably put some of the worst thing. Actually, no. They will sometimes put bad things in the held for review or spam, but all of the words that Audra just mentioned, I recommend adding yourself. I also love the mute function where, and I talk about this in probably every stream, you get a comment and it's from somebody and it's like just passive aggressive enough or just like, you'll learn the tone where it's like somebody will say something. It's like no offense, but you're an ugly woman. Like some kind of shit like that. I don't mean you're rude, but so the mute function, for anyone that doesn't know, it basically makes it so that they are talking to their own void. So it mutes them from ever showing up on your channel. Other subscribers don't see this person. You don't see this person. But the person who is muted still watches your videos, sees the comments, can add comments, but they are the only person that sees those comments. That is the best way to set it up where like particular kinds of assholes are just silenced. StreamYard is the shit. That's what we're on. We're on StreamYard. Yes. We are on a paid version of it, which is why usually there's a watermark. So that's why there's not.
Look, she caught it. Did you see that?
Also, this.
Yeah.
If you're going to insult me, you're going to work for it. Calling me fat, I'm like, I have eyes.
Yeah, that's why. That's one of the reasons why I blocked the N-bomb. Not because you're really not going to bother me by saying that, because I have slapped the piss out of more than one person who said that to me in my life. So that's not going to bother me. The reason I removed it is because if you're going to insult me based on racism, I need you to be more creative than monkey and N-bomb. I need you to be more creative. Come on, dude. That's the thing that kills me. Is I'm like, really, that's what you came up with?
Yeah.
Oh my
exactly.
God.
They put out all their energy. They think they're hot shit, but nobody. Yeah. I have a master's in blank staring stupid people. Iconic. Wait, what?
Yeah, they do. They just started that.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
The music service I use, because I use basically to keep my ass from getting hit with copyright claims, because the thing about using the YouTube one is that those folks can decide that they are going to like not make copyright free music anymore and then come after you. So I use Soundstripe, and my understanding is a lot of those artists have like a contract with them and with Soundstripe, so that they can't just like because most of these people wouldn't, I guess, in some ways have like a musical career per se. I don't want to put career in quotes, but like wouldn't be able to sustain their lives doing music if they didn't have Soundstripe. And Soundstripe's basically like, well, we're not going to get fucked by having people pay for this, but then you decide that you're going to, you know, copyright the song. So the songs that you make for here are for here. And whenever you want to like not do that, that's fine, but you're not gonna be able to take the songs with you. So like that's a thing. So that's what I use for my music. I did have some dipshit once on it, like actually say to me, like they weren't a dipshit, but I was just annoyed because they came in the comments, they're like, watch, you know, the music that you're using because you could get copyright claim. I'm like, bitch, don't you think I researched that before? Like, what? And like I just like kind of had a face where I was like, that's kind of the job of like, that's what I do. Like my job is making.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm making
also like,
hi.
Also, bye, Abby. Thank you for hanging out.
I have the bowies. I'm just never gonna let it go.
I was gonna say, what else was I gonna say? In terms of, so Nusha, I don't know if you have a channel or if you've already been making videos, but the other thing I would say, my experience, my limited experience, is that I didn't really deal with negative comments until some growth happened. Mm-hmm. So I probably had like a good 6 months of like just my own like supportive community, like a small community, but I didn't have a lot of shitheads. Like I probably had 1 or 2 people over that time, but I think it's really with growth is where you start seeing the negative comments. You might have had a different experience, Audra, and other creators may as well. But oh yeah, Feffy looked amazing today and sounded amazing, and I love your look. But I think you also have a little bit of breathing room to like figure out YouTube, figure out blocking, figure out all these things when your channel is still new. Yes, I hate when people explain my fracking job. Exactly.
Yeah, because that's the other thing with dealing with negative comments. Just delete them. Like when the person said the thing about my wig, I do not find like I don't clap back, but a lot of it's because like it depends on the comment, but for the most part I don't, because I'm like, I don't have time for this. I'm old. Like I literally like I have to go take a shower. Like I just like that's where I am. I'm like, I have to go take a shower. I'm just gonna delete your comment and move on. And then the other thing
it happens on
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying this, a lot of shit happens on Insta. Yeah, I don't know shit about Insta and like if muting is available or anything like that.
Yeah. I can't stand you, Keisha. I'm gonna get you. But yeah, I mean, like dealing with negativity, and I think that's one of the like to just kind of complete the policing makeup conversation, and then we can go on and continue on with all the things that we can do to like the YouTube questions and fun about YouTube. But what it comes back to is the reality of the situation is that we have to have the same energy when it comes to people.
I live in Brooklyn, bitch. I live in Brooklyn.
It's a cat. First of all, it's honey, and but yeah, I mean, I think it's like we have all the same energy, and when it comes to negative comments, that's something that I have to start realizing is like people are going to say negative things, and now I have to start realizing that if I have a fucking beauty haul, if I have a bunch of shit, I can just show it on my channel and realize that somebody's gonna have something to say, but I don't have to give a fuck. That's where I am.
I wanted to ask though, do we want to talk? Also, hi T. I've had people literally leave comments like you talk too much. Like it's literally called T Talks.
What do they want us to do? Stare at the fucking camera like weirdos? Like imagine
y'all are the worst. I hate you. Y'all are the worst.
Like, Emily, could you imagine your entire video being this?
But also, I wanted to ask, do we want to talk at all? Also, somebody asked, I think in the chat, what my shirt said. Somebody asked that, but that's my shirt. I'm happy to have it. It took a while to get here. About, do we want to talk at all about like the idea of YouTubers and I guess Instagrammers too getting criticized for having shitheads in their collection, like Jebediah snorkelfish? Like, do we want to touch on that at all?
Yeah,
and that kind of gatekeeping.
Well, here's the reality of the situation. When it comes to Jalopity Staircase, because I love that one now. When it comes to fucking Jalopity Staircase, you've known for a very long time. Everybody's known for a long time that he is a giant piece of shit and that he is racist. If you continued to buy his products and now you're finding yourself like, oh gosh, what am I supposed to do? Like, that's on you. That's your business. You made a conscious effort to continue purchasing his products. All right. You had every opportunity to stop buying his products. But you chose to use over being like, because the same people who do this, and here's what fucking pisses me off. I'm going to get like a little bit mad. A lot of the same people who do this are the same people who are like, I only buy cruelty-free makeup. I'm like, oh, cruelty-free racist makeup? Okay, got it. So animals over racism. Gotcha. So like, if they want to whine right now about like their like love of a racist makeup, I have no sympathy for them. Yeah, people have every right to not want to watch your channel and to unsubscribe from you because you continue to support that person. And they asked you several different times. That's the thing about a lot of those creators too, that they won't say, is that a lot of their subscribers continuously said, you know, I love you, but I really wish you would stop doing this. And they continue to do it. So like when they went and brought his ashy ass ugly motherfucking palette at the end of the day, and they started seeing all those people fucking unsubscribe, that's on you, boo. You did that. Yeah. And now you're gonna come here and whine and complain, being like, well, you know, I knew people, and then you're like on Twitter and you're on everywhere just telling me like, I knew people were gonna unsubscribe from me. I'm like, then why did you buy the damn palette? Like, then you're stupid for continuing to behave this way. Like, I don't know what to tell you, but I can't fix that for you. You cannot force the rest of us to keep putting up with that. Like, if all y'all want to do that, if you want to hang out over there, you do that. But you've had people asking you for a long time to stop supporting that person, and they kept up with you this whole time. And when all this happened, they'd finally had enough, and you still did it, then yeah, they left. What do you want them to do? Yeah. And that's not gatekeeping, that's morals.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I think that there's this reaction of like, oh, you know, oh, I can't buy anything because it's all going to come with judgment. And it's like, you're missing the point. You're missing the point. The point is exactly like, one, that person in particular is cruel to Black women. Two, we're not saying you can't buy any makeup. I'm saying like, I don't know who Cindy is, but hi, Cindy. But like, there's like a hierarchy of like decent to absolute shitheads. Because I don't think every brand is a brand. So I'm not even gonna say amazing. I'm gonna say decent. I'm gonna say like good to decent to like shitheads. He's at the bottom of the list. There's all these other brands you could buy from, and yes all of them have something. Most of them have something. But that doesn't mean, yes, that video from D'Angelo Wallace about how everything is when he called out the robbery and how the LAPD had not commented at all when ABH had a robbery.
7 cigarettes when he said that. I was sitting there smoking, trying to think it through. I was like, what the fuck? Wait, he's right. Oh my, we didn't hear another damn thing about this robbery. Like, I lost it.
Oh. Wait, what the fuck?
Yeah. It's weird. And here's the thing that bothers me about those people is they want to complain, but there have been brands, Black-owned brands, that have been cruelty and vegan-free like this whole time. They've been there that whole time. This whole time they've been selling shit. And you know what they didn't do? Buy that. So I'm not trying to hear their bullshit. That's the thing. I
Yeah,
don't care anymore
exactly.
about their reasons for I don't want to hear it. If you bought that ashy ass palette in spite of everything, in spite of the amount of people who were not excited about it, and the few racist fans of yours that wanted it, because you cannot keep telling me that his eyeshadow formula is so great. Here's what pisses me off about that, because I've said this to Emily and I said it on Twitter today. Look, Jalopity Staircases shit is like, it is the one hit wonder of the makeup world, of the beauty world. I do not
Thank
see
you.
his palette show back up in Get Ready With Me's. I do not see his palette show back up in Favorites and Fails. I do not see his palette show up in Shop My Stashes. They never show back up. They're
The
there for the
only
release and then that's
palette,
it.
the only palette that I saw that happen with was the blood sugar, the red palette.
Yeah, that
And
was
I
it.
think that was the peak. The way that I say that Muerte's Amor Eternal collection, their holiday collection, was the peak for them. Blood Sugar was the peak for him, in my opinion. If I'm gonna give a racist a peak of good makeup, like that was the peak. And every other palette after that, because I've been following the beauty community since at least Blood Sugar, I think. Every other palette after that, you see the initial video, and then like never again.
Yeah, everybody was losing their shit over that conspiracy palette. Where is it? Like, I've never seen it again on most people's channels who bought it in the first place. Like, I've never seen it again. Like, I'm like, okay, so this should be in your favorites or favorites and fails. It doesn't show up, you know? And like, yeah, it bothers me.
Yeah.
The fact that people want to like feel comfortable buying from racists is so offensive to me. And I don't like, I don't, you know what? I don't care if I'm that person. It is offensive to me that you would find that okay, because on the opposite end of the sphere, if I were just say a regular good looking white woman and I said, I don't buy makeup from fat people, do you understand what would happen there? Like, do you see the difference? And like, do you, like a whole group of people, you just alienated them. You didn't care. And you just said, well, I don't buy makeup from fat people. Like, that's just what I do. Like, I just can't do it because like, duh. And that would be fine. But it seems like anytime we're fighting for the rights of Black people and saying like, we're trying to make our voices heard and had been trying to make our voices heard and have been consistently saying like, this man never apologized for racism. He really didn't. He apologized for what he said. He did not apologize for racism. So this man never apologized for it, has been openly hateful to Black women on the regular. And then I'm just supposed to be like, oh, let me just separate the brand from the man. Listen, I don't know how many different ways I have to say this. And I talked to Jen Loves about this too. And I was like, listen, brands are not people until they want to be people. All right. And this is the problem with having people as brands. You've seen it with Nervina, with ABH. Obviously, you saw it with Kat Von D. Like the reason it becomes problematic is because and we even saw it with Marlena, you know, when she was having that whole thing with Tina, the fancy face, all of a sudden she wants to go from being Marlena to being Makeup Geek. And it's like, well, no, you can't have it both ways. You are either the brand or you are the person. And if you want to not be both, then you need to have a team that does the other and you stay out of one. Like that's how it has to work. You can't tell me that I have to separate the two if they're one and the same. Like they are one and the same. Like I don't know who owns Estee Lauder. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't know who owns them.
Yeah.
So, and they're not wandering around saying shit all day. So do they have some issues? Yes. Can I still maybe continue to support them even though they don't have enough Black people employed within their company, which means that they really can't possibly make enough stuff for Black people? Yes, I can. But
actually, I will say I'm not calling out your support or whatever of Estee Lauder, but for Estee Lauder in particular, they're an example of, oh, it came out that they're one of the top donators to Drumpf, and I was like,
and that's why I don't support
okay. Exactly. I was like, there wasn't a specific person, but there was an information release where I was like, see you, hear you, need to take some time away. Yeah. And that's the thing, is that racism, covert racism is, in my opinion, my hot take or whatever, is it's so much more detrimental and damaging than overt racism. Obviously, overt racism is dangerous, but the covert, like, but I'm a good person, I'm a good white person, that is the shit that is dangerous.
It is. Because then you see, like, so Cindy Lou had, oh, I'm sorry.
Oh
I was
yeah.
like,
I'll click it back. I'll click it.
she was saying, I should have looked more into his past. I figured since there were so many beauty YouTubers using it, his past was overblown. Holy cow. Now that I know all of the stuff, I will absolutely not buy more. And that's something, listen, I have a video I'm working on that's probably going to go up sometime next week. We'll see. But there's stuff that obviously a lot of people wouldn't be looking for because, like, for instance, when I started in 2016, I didn't know about Jeffree Star's past. So I bought like 2 liquid lipsticks. I had 2 liquid lipsticks of Jeffree Star's. I didn't understand what had happened in his past. And I thought that he had apologized and all this stuff because I really wasn't watching drama channels at that time. I really wasn't doing a lot of digging. I had a video that I had to hide. Like, I actually didn't hide it. I just deleted it because I was like, oh, the man's apologized. Like, can we just move on and let it go? Because I don't want any static when people just buy shit. Once I started doing my actual research, I was like, oh, snap. And also at that time, I was still suffering from internalized racism. So like, there were a lot of things going on with me that gave it a pass. You can't, like, there are people where I'm like, I completely understand where if you were new to YouTube, you would not have known all the stuff that happened. Like, I didn't even know all the MySpace bullshit that went down until recently. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So there's like, because I was too old for MySpace when it was going on. Like, a friend of mine tried to get me to get on it, and I tried, and I was like, I don't know how to write code, bye. But so there's stuff you're gonna miss, but you can't continuously have someone who has been proven over and over and over again. This is a pattern of behavior, like someone else said. This is a pattern of behavior. It doesn't stop. And all these people who are like so scared of him, like, I don't think that they're scared of him. I think that they're scared of what he can do. I think they're scared that they can get canceled with whatever bullshit he says. This is why he's being so quiet and he's not saying anything, because he's learned since a very long time ago that if he is the last one to speak, everyone believes him. So he's going to keep his mouth shut until all this shit blows over. And then he's going to show up and have something to say. And everyone is just going to magically forget all of the things that have happened. He's going to move on. Ain't Me Dawson is going to fall to the wayside, just like everybody else that Jeffree's ever been involved with. And then that's what's going to happen.
He's going to take the fall. I think he's going to take the fall. And Jeffree's going to just like keep it moving.
And that's exactly, I do not have the privilege to ignore racism. I do not have the ability to go, it's just makeup. I can't, because like, I have a platform. However small my platform is, I still have one. So I cannot, in good conscience, sit on my platform and act like this shit is not happening. You know what I mean? Like for instance, if I had the Tati palette right now, do you think my ass would be using it on my channel? No, absolutely not. I don't have it. But if I did, do you think I would be using it? No, because one, I don't want to be involved in all of that junk. But two, I have an obligation to the people that come and watch my content to let them know that, like, listen, I don't support this kind of behavior. If you're with somebody who behaves like this, I don't, unless they are honestly, they have a gun to your head, I cannot fathom why you would sit there and be like, well, I just felt like that. No, I've had so many different reasons to stop being friends with people because of racism. Yeah. And it didn't take much for me to just be like, yeah, okay, I'm not that Black person. Bye. Like,
and I think that it's really interesting how, like, okay, so there's a lot of conversation of like, well, if you cancel this brand and then you have to cancel that brand and then you have to cancel that brand, and then like, what is it going to buy from? And I'm like, I'm over here actively researching like a lot of the indie brands I love. Like, literally in the Discord, we talk about this a lot. I'm just going to call out Sydney Grace is an indie brand. They have a sale coming up. Mm-hmm. Up until a couple days ago, they were following Trump on either Instagram or I guess on Twitter.
Yeah.
Emily Original kindly emailed them about it. And then their response was a little, but then somebody else discovered that they no longer follow them. And I'm still like, I I don't know about you. And so like
Yeah.
I'm here looking at brands, and I'm not just blindly canceling everyone. Jebediah or Snorkelfish, which is the only name that keeps sticking in my head. Yes, that's a cancel. That's a cancel. But a lot of these other brands, I'm just consciously watching, and I'm not gonna say like, oh, I will just never ever ever buy from them.
Yeah.
But I am being a lot more careful. You know, I will call myself out. I definitely, so like I was lucky enough to get PR from Kaleidos. I talked about the issue with this packaging in the video that I'm coming out where I'm talking about this collection. I want to
like,
talk about the
Black
issue.
women, and it's not for Black women.
Exactly. I want to call them out, and I want to shop. Like, obviously, I know that there's no completely like fair shopping capitalism, but I also like feel like you can make an effort. But yes, this. Sorry, we'll go back to Dwingos, but this.
Yeah.
Let me find out. Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
That's why, like,
and that's the thing.
if
I don't
other people
expect
are
everybody
like,
to do deep dive
hey,
research. Like, that's not the thing that we
yeah,
expect. Like, when it comes to, especially when it comes to Jalopity Staircase, like, listen, nobody expected every single person to go and do research on that monster. Like, that's not the expectation. But the expectation was when things came out that people would just like wake up, and the amount of people who were just like, nope, still sleeping, fuck it, he said sorry, whatever. Like, that's where we have to start divorcing the idea of like, okay, well, it's it's not just his fans, everybody who wants to buy that ashy ass makeup, you know, it's everybody who wants to buy it. So they will excuse the behavior. If they don't give a shit, they will continuously excuse it. And they can continue to do so. But I also reserve the right to not ever like buy it. And if you were to ask me like in a life, oh, are you going to buy the new? No, I'm not. And like, or I could just like, I will always skip the question and never answer it because I'm not going to do it. Listen, I don't know what Wayne Goss was doing. I don't. I really don't. I don't know what
I only watch like reaction videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to agree with Keisha. I've never seen, I have seen a Wayne Goss video here and there, but there's something about him that never interests me, like Tati. And the Tropic Cat Life said, I don't cancel people based on follows because I personally know people who follow people. They just like just to get news. And I'm sure to follow people I don't even remember I do. Here's the thing is that there's a billion places to get news. You don't have to follow somebody you don't like to get news.
Correct. And that's the thing that kills me. Like drama channels that are following, you know, Amy Dawson and the Coffin King, got it. You know what I mean? I get why they're following because they need to see what happens. But honestly, when other people are just like, well, I just need to see what they're doing. I'm like, why do you need to see what they're doing if you're not any of those things? Like, what are you doing there? You know what I mean? So like when I'm looking at people, I'm just like, and when the thing about Wayne Goss was like he's trying to speak on something from a perspective of, because I don't even like the word cancel anymore or cancel culture, because first of all, people don't know what it means. Like they really don't. They have no clue what it means. It's like cancel, that's cancel, and people just waving it around. I'm like, no, okay. Cancel does not mean every time somebody does something wrong. What we're trying to do, and most people are trying to do, is get people to be held accountable for their behavior. And what's frustrating more than ever, like, listen, there are changes that are happening on YouTube, especially if you're a creator, you're seeing some of them. Some of these changes take place where like, oh, now we're doing, because listen, I honestly, like my conspiracy theory is that they are preparing for not being able to have income on certain channels. So they are changing the way that they monetize and all of this stuff because they're realizing that they're gonna need something to fall back on when they have to do that. Because as a platform, listen, they do give us free reign, but they kind of run into this space where they keep kind of forgetting that like they still own the platform and therefore they own the content on it, and therefore they have the ability to shut shit down, and that they maybe don't want to keep letting capitalism rule it to the point where you have really nasty monsters on this platform doing horrible things. And we just keep letting them do it. It's like, yes.
There are plenty of brands where I'm just like, you're on the side, you're on the sidebar. I'm watching you. I'm not totally like canceling you forever. but I also don't want to feature you on my channel right now.
Correct.
Going back to Sydney Grace, they have a big sale coming up. I could totally haul, like, I do think some of their formulas are nice. I could totally haul a bunch of shadows. That whole interaction just made me feel questionable, where I was like, I think I'm gonna take a break. And like, you're not totally canceled, and I don't think anyone has to or doesn't have to cancel things or hold them, but I think you can hold them accountable and hope for change.
And see, and yes, we do need to call it accountability culture, because that's what we're trying to do. We're not, because I think people think of canceled in the term of like ruin their career, they're fucking done. I don't want everybody to lose their bag, right? Like, I don't want Tati to lose her bag, but I do want her to stop being a messy bitch. Like, I just want her to stop getting messy. Like, just go back to the corner that you were in, where you were just shiny, happy, and you pretended that you enjoyed drugstore makeup. Like, that's where I want you to go back to. Because the second you tried to join the cool kids, like, it became a big, ugly ass mess. And you really nobody, and that was the thing. Tati, nobody was watching you to be the cool kid. They were literally watching you for your like wholesome demeanor. Like, that's what people were looking for. And then you just like threw that away. And I do feel like that. I genuinely feel like she threw that away in favor of trying to like grow her platform or whatever. I feel like there's a point that that's not good.
Yeah. So Rachel Joy had an interesting question. What are your opinions on beauty announcement pages promoting releases from brands like J-Star? They don't post MLMs, so they aren't completely unbiased, so that isn't an excuse.
And here's the thing. They need to get it together, because here's the thing. Everybody can get that information if you just subscribe to their emails. Like, eventually we're just not even going to need their pages if they keep this up. And I'm not saying that to be rude, but like, I don't want to deal with having to have his shit thrown in my face all the time, because like, just imagine somebody threw like their own feces at you, and then you reported it. You're like, this person threw their feces in my face. And then the response was, oh, that's really sucky. But nobody does anything. And then like they do it again. And you're like, okay, well, they did it again. They threw their feces in my face. And they're like, oh, that's too bad. Anyway, here they are again. And you're like, wait, but I don't want to see them. And like, that's the thing. So I'm not like, there are brands that I'm going to tell you right now, like a quick sneak peek. There are brands that, because of how they've handled their complexion products, I will never buy anything from them again. Moving forward, if you do not have complexion products for me, I am not ever going to buy one thing from your brand ever again. And I'm dead ass serious, because this bullshit and these games and this like, oh, well, we couldn't. No, if you can't make a complexion product for me, I'm dark. I'm dark skinned. I'm a dark skinned woman. If you can't make a complexion product for me, then you can fuck right off. Don't expect me to spend my dollars on other stuff that you have. Like, oh, we have this mascara. Well, I don't need mascara, bitch. I want a foundation. I want a concealer. If you don't have it, I'm not buying anything.
Also, it's not can't make a complexion product for you. It's that they are choosing not to. They will not. It's not that they cannot. It's not that they are physically unable to. Is they are choosing not to. And I generally agree with what Alex says in terms of the Jeffree Star thing and the featuring them on there. Like, I do like beauty news, but the fact that they are continuing to feature Jeffree Star, I'm like, okay. Well, that's good to know. Like, they were one of the few like makeup announcement Instagrams that I actually continue to follow. I've long unfollowed Trend Mood, but I also just think that like continuing to give them promotion is like saying, you know what, they bring in traffic. I'm doing it for the views, but I don't want to follow people that are doing shit for the views.
Correct.
That's not why I'm here.
Because that's the thing, especially if you like really break that down, because you said that, like, I don't want to be doing it with people who are just doing it for the views. This is an important distinction to make, especially when it comes to YouTube, because here's the thing about those folks. They'll do that to get the views, and they're going to keep doing it until it doesn't serve them anymore. and then you'll have them turn right around. These will be the same people who at, 500,000 subscribers will suddenly tell you that they don't like that creator and like all this stuff. And they don't like what they stand for. And you're like, what the fuck? I'm so confused. Like, like you were a Jeremy Slave Master.
That name, I had to highlight that no matter what.
But it does make me uneasy. And I don't know how people can't get that as a Black person. And then there are other people who are sensible and good people who it does genuinely irritate them. And for people to just keep going, well, it's about the makeup, not the person behind it. I'm like, but the person behind it is the makeup. Like,
also, I don't even think I realized this, and that makes me feel fucking annoyed. So because T said fuck beauty news. Yeah. Yeah, okay.
And see, and that's the thing I'm never going to get over, especially when it comes to like why I'm always going to have to side-eye Tati, is because what it always breaks down to for me is I'm like, at the end of the day, you chose a white racist man over another female, regardless of race. You chose a white racist man over another female in this community who was being attacked by a male in this community. I'm never going to be able to look at you properly after that, because like, where are you going to be? What happens if somebody does something else? Like if another popular man does something to another female creator, like if another white female creator, are you going to stand by their side, or are you just going to like flip over like you did this time? This is the stuff that I keep in mind, and why I keep that energy, and why I keep watching these people, because I'm like, listen, women have to stick together. We're all we have. We can't be infighting and be crazy with each other all the time. We have to stick together. We have to get smart. If we don't do that, then we will continue to have our entire community space just overrun and dominated by successful men. Like that's really where we are. Like it will be run and dominated by
successful racist men.
Thank you. Like we don't have to align with them.
Men.
That's what kills me about them. We could align with them. We could form our own little coalition and have like females doing very well in this space if we would just stop like trying to align with these monsters to be like, no, we're gonna like once I make it, I'll like try to grab people. You won't grab anybody out. Fuck you. You won't. We know you. Yeah, the whole way Jackie's palette was handled to still just chaps my ass. It really does.
It's a gorgeous, stunning palette. It's the best ABH palette I've seen released, period. And the fact that it got shoved in between these Norvina, the other collabs, I'm like, you just didn't, you literally were like, this is what the audience is asking for. This will get us some street cred. Okay, we'll fucking do it. You didn't care.
Yeah. It's make people think we're not racist. All the people who said we were racist, we've showed them. We had Jackie.
That's fucked up. Tati reviewed every other ABH palette except Jackie's, then made up with Jackie when she had products to show because she wanted the black dollar. And that's the thing, is that I've stopped following Tati for a long time. So when everything happened with Bi Sisters, and then ever since then, I've just kind of been like out of the loop. But I'm like, doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me at all. Yeah, that's true. People need to remember, accounts like BD News, Trend Mood are run by regular people. They're not news outlets. You make the standard. You're not held to standard of being unbiased. Exactly.
Yeah. And that's exactly why, like, when people, like, for instance, for those of y'all that weren't at Jen Love's live on Sunday morning, there are people who constantly were in her live stream comments, like talking to her about saying that she's biased, that she's biased, that she's biased. And finally she'd had enough and really was just like, well, I mean, if you want to stand up for him because he's racist, then that's okay. Then that's you, but I'm not going to do that. And the fact that she had to just finally say that, because Emily had been talking about this earlier, the whataboutisms, people will try to get you trapped in a whataboutism to force you to do the thing that they want. You know what I mean? Like, they don't care about those other things. It's just like right now we're seeing where people will say things like, well, what about black on black crime? Like, they don't care about that. That's not what they care about at all. They just want you to stop trying to start a revolution. So they're going to say this instead and get you bogged down in these bullshit details. that's what happens to especially a lot of people who review products, and like that is their main thing, that they review products, right? So what happens is they get caught in the whataboutisms where people are like, well, what about Kathleen Lights? She said this. Well, what about, and you're like, first of all, Kathleen Lights doesn't have a brand. First off, like it's not her own brand. She shills for other people, but that doesn't mean that like.
I mean, she does have a brand now. She has a nail polish brand.
Nail polish, yeah.
She's had that for a while.
Yeah, I don't care about that. I'm like, I don't mean that to be rude. I just like nail polish is nail polish to me. Like it's not particular.
But she is a brand because she's her. I'm in the camp of, if you have a YouTube channel, if you have an Instagram presence, you are your own brand. That is your brand.
Yeah. I don't necessarily agree with that, because those people are going to continue to come back. She's a large enough creator to where she has regularly in those chats 2,000 people. So those trolls are going to keep coming. She like I and that's not just because I'm friends with her. It's because I have seen what happens in chats that large. Those people are always going to be there. Those people are always going to come. They're always going to antagonize, whether or not they are subscribers of hers or not. They're going to keep coming and being antagonistic. They will always do it, because people still show up in T's chat saying dumb shit. And that's one of the spots where I learned it, was being in T's chat. There are people who will still come up in her live streams saying some dumb shit. And like, there's nothing that like T can say all day, and she will, that she doesn't support this. Get the fuck out of here. Don't say that shit. Don't support this on my channel. I will block you. Those people are still going to come. They've come to antagonize, and they will create other accounts to continue to antagonize if she blocks them. So those people, there's not a lot of control that you can have. You can make as many solid stances as you want, but trolls are going to troll.
Yeah.
Tracia.
I personally still feel like what happened in the roundtable, which was amazing for everyone there, was a shit show for people in the comments. I still think that was a shit show.
Yeah.
I do think it's interesting, and this is not an attack on Jen. This is an attack on Ofra. Ofra has never collaborated with a Black person, at least based on their collaboration page.
True that.
I'm not surprised by it.
I mean, honestly, though, they don't really make stuff for Black people. Like, and I'm not saying that to be shitty. I'm just saying, like, they make highlighters.
No, but you're saying the honest truth. Like, they should, though. Highlighters are for all skin tones. Blushes should be for all skin tones. Eyeshadow should be for all skin tones. Also, welcome, Kelsey. Hello.
Hi, Kelsey. I saw you today in your live.
Yeah.
Yeah, hello. They did.
Yeah, and I know not everybody was paying attention to them, which is good. I'm glad that I know T and Audra both said, like, we didn't really see the chat. I'm glad.
Yeah, I turned that off because I wouldn't be able to pay attention.
So yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think I think until you are doing the I honestly think until you are a creator, there's a level of reality that you have to have where some people do feel, and you also have to think about where some folks come from, right? And again, yes, I'm friends with Jen, but let me just explain or say how I feel in being in that position. Her channel is mostly based on having reviews and talking about new releases, but without her opinion, has been that for a very long time. If you haven't been watching lately, that has been changing. And I think that is a big difference. She was basically trying to be a very neutral space for beauty. And in so doing, anytime you're trying to create a neutral space, you keep a neutral stance and you try not to like make anybody mad. And you're just like, but that can lead to some problems for you later on down the line. And I think that eventually you start going, I need to make a stance because I don't like where this is headed. I don't like how this is going. And once you start realizing that this has to happen and that you have to make some changes, it's a little rough and you're worried about how people are going to handle it, because it's not like she's a channel of my size where it's 3,400 people. And if she, you know, is like, fuck it, you know, this is her job and her livelihood. Like that is how she makes money. The YouTube is her job. So in that case, I have to realize that like she's cultivated and created a channel where she was trying to remain in the middle, and finally she's reached a stage where she's like, no, I'm not. If you've watched her latest like what's up in makeup news, she's putting more of her personality into it, which is something I'm actually really excited about, because I always said that about her channel. So that's my take on it, but of course that is my friend, so like that, but that's how I feel about it. I think that a lot of us will create a channel based on XYZ, and then you'll realize, okay, people don't like watching this, or people don't like watching this, or I have issues with this, or like this is happening. Whatever it is, like people are going to have an opinion. Like T, I always say T because I watch this shit out of your channel. So like she will say all the time, people don't come to my channel for the hair, like they don't come for the hair videos. So she doesn't want to put them up all the time. But then people will be like, can you do a hair video? And she's like, I'm going to do a hair video, but y'all motherfuckers better watch it. Yeah. If you're not going to watch it, I'm not going to keep doing them. Like,
by the way, I watched your sponsored hair video. Good job on getting a sponsor. Fuck yeah.
I did watch that.
Yeah. But like, and I think
go ahead.
And I don't want to like put you in a weird spot, but I still kind of agree with Xavier here about like, I think there was this like middle of the road writing. And again, I'm not like being like, let's attack this person, because that's not what this is about. But I just think it's interesting to think about kind of how people will, and not just Jen. This is a huge issue within the community. Yeah. People will decide, I want to review everything. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to ride the line of like, I don't necessarily agree with what this person is doing, but oh my God, the quality of this makeup. And it's like, we can't, it's 2020. We can no longer do that. And I think that to tie it back to what we're talking about, I think that there are moments within this community where gatekeeping or kind of like criticizing someone's collection or choices can sometimes be a positive effect, but I think generally it's not positive. But I do think sometimes it's like, okay, yeah, I need to call you out on this shit, because like I don't agree, and a lot of people also don't agree, and let's say something. But a lot of times it's like, if you're really unhappy with what this person is buying, maybe it's just time to unsubscribe and move on.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is I think it's very easy to unsubscribe. And again, like I can't comment on certain things regarding, Jay, because that is a personal relationship and personal conversations that I'm not just gonna like divulge to everybody watching the stream. But
good night, Bethany.
Night, Bethany. But there are just things I think that as general as I can say. I don't like it personally when people ride the fence. I just think there are people who built a brand on it. And not just her, but there are a lot of people who built brands on staying in the middle. Like, for instance, Pop Lux does that as well. So his whole thing is very much like, well, it's about the makeup, not the, people behind the brand. And he's built a large following based on that. But I haven't watched his channel in a while. So if that'll tell you something.
Well, this is why I stopped watching him.
Yeah, like that'll tell you something.
Because I was like...
Because I finally reached the stage where I was like, okay, I can't keep watching. Because what got me with him specifically was that he was still getting those mystery boxes. And the problem the issue with that was that so many people, aside from the obvious, so many people were getting those mystery boxes and they were hot garbage or shit was expired. And for him to have it on his channel, I just didn't like that. I was like, bro, there are people who are legitimately getting screwed in this deal. And you continue to like review them and not really go into all of the issues in detail. Like, to me, I would just feel like that would be a reason enough. If you didn't want to get on the racist stance, the product quality would be reason enough for you to say like, I'm not going to keep buying. Like, that's a thing that, I need you to take care of. So I haven't watched his channel in a while because I just was like, yeah, that's not my thing.
We're talking about Pop Lux Nady. And see, I just stopped watching him because it wasn't about the mystery boxes. It was about the brands, where I'm like, you're talking about brands and you're like, it's not about the brand. It's not about the people. It's about the makeup. And I'm like, yeah, but that's not how makeup works. Yeah, and that's a place of racism and privilege. And it ties with the other person we were talking about. But, yeah.
And the
mystery boxes, I think, are important as well.
And I also do pay attention to this, though, when it does come to privilege, because I do, like, is it raining? For fuck's sake. Anyways, it's that neighbor who's always like pouring shit up their balcony. Moving on. But one of the things I do have to pay attention to when it comes to privilege is that there are people who are just now really understanding the privilege that they have and working to change that. So I do have to give people the room to be able to change that, because I think a lot of people just really didn't get how much privilege that they actually had. Like they understood it to a like a subconscious degree, but I don't think they understood how much they actually had, because there are many folks who are coming around realizing like I didn't really understand that I was alienating an entire group of my audience. Like I didn't get it. It didn't hit me until I saw XYZ happen, right? And they're like, I see XYZ happen, and then it allows me to look within myself. And when I'm looking within myself, I'm saying, oh, I just did the same thing. Oh my gosh. And then that allows them to grow and change. So, you know, night, Lydia.
Oh, good night, Lydia. And see, and I think for you, I think like when I think of like the conversations we've had off camera and on camera, it's like you have a level of forgiving with people that I'm just like, no, they were racist for years. And now that it's affecting their bag, they're not racist. And again, this is not just specifically about this one person. It's not just specifically about Jen. It's about multiple people. And again, this is a good friendship. We've agreed to disagree, or we've worked through things. Like I am much, and I think it's because I've seen, and obviously I'm not saying you haven't seen this, but I've seen a lot of white people that live in this space of using ignorance as a shield, when in reality they're not ignorant. They're very knowledgeable about what happened.
That's true.
And it's only until they finally get called out enough that they're like, oh, I understand it now. And I'm like, no, I know you behind the scenes. I know you outside of your workplace. I know you in real life. And you have lived in that ignorant space. And you are just finally emerging from it because it's now affecting your bag. It's now affecting your relationships.
Yeah.
And so I feel a little bit more like these people need to be held to a level of like accountability that sometimes they're not, because it's like, oh, I'm just learning. And I'm like,
night, Cindy.
Good night, Cindy.
So for some people, I wouldn't say that it's learning. I would say that it's just like peeling back the fucking veil. Because like there are situations, like even in my life, I had to peel back layers to realize like the internalized misogyny I had, internalized racism, expectations that I had dealt with. Like for instance, right now, like Xavier, you have to go watch. You guys have to go watch his channel, because he does a really good live stream talking about the Amy Cooper situation and how he's just trying to forgive her. And I'm like, nah, dude, no, this is bigger than you. This is bigger. You don't get to just forgive her. That's not how it works. I agree. I actually wholeheartedly agree with you, because like I said earlier, I'm never going to be able to forgive that. Not because Jackie was black. Here's the thing. It wasn't even because Jackie's black. It's because she chose a man over a woman in this situation. It actually makes me sick, because it reminds me of how many women will side with abusers and assaulters, and we've seen this happen time and time again in the black community, where these women will side with these men, calling women dogs and saying that they're ugly, and they're all for it up until it's turned on them. And then all of a sudden they're crying foul and wanting the black women to help them. And we're like, no, girl, where were you when they were calling this woman a dog? Where were you when they were laughing? You were over there right by them, keeping it up right next to them. You thought it was so funny. You were having such a good time. Now that it's turned on you, all of a sudden, you now have a problem with these men, and you want us to help you. No, we're not going to help you now. That's why I haven't, like, if Jackie was a white woman, I would be just as upset that Tati did that. And I'm going to tell you that right now. I'd be just as upset, because I'm like, don't turn around and like take a man over a woman who's told you that this man has abused her. And you're like, no, it's fine. It's fine. I'm going to make my bag.
Yeah, no, that's dangerous too, because for anyone that's watching or part of the chat who has dealt with abuse or is currently in a relationship that has abusive behavior, it's like that's all activating that. That's all like heightened that. And I don't think I'm like, yes. And I don't think that I also like, I know I'm still learning and unlearning, as Angela said. Even the last week, I did a live stream on Millie Back to the Browse channel with Millie, Alex, and we were talking about indie brands and indie double standard, and we went in and spent a lot of time on Davina, who we discovered kind of hadn't really featured. Like I went back for like the whole, like for a year, and found like 3 to 5 social media posts specifically on their Instagram from Black people or people of color, and they're really good about posting on their stories but not on their actual feed. And we spent a lot of time talking about that, and not necessarily talking about some other indie brands that have problematic behaviors or have shown like issues. Oh, good night, Lisa Marie. And somebody called me out like very kindly in my DMs, and I was like, oh shit, I'm sitting here as a white woman being like, I can't believe I didn't, like, I, as a lover of Davina and as a often like a shopper of them, I took that space that when we were talking about any double standards and decided to focus on it. And I think part of it was because I was like, how did I not notice that? How did I not see it? And I realized like, okay, but it's still focusing on me and how, and maybe other people in the live stream, and how we didn't notice it when we could be talking more evenly about different issues amongst multiple indie brands. So that was a learning situation. So like, I don't sit here being like, oh my God, I know exactly what every creator should do or every person.
Yeah. And that's why like Sanders pulled bullshit on Sam, pulling Sam Ravindall into a situation she had no business being in. Like that bothered me distinctly so much, because Sam had obviously learned, grown, and changed, and you can see it now in her content. One of the reasons I shared a video of her, because she specifically was talking about a product that she loved, and she wasn't going to repurchase because she was like, they haven't updated their shade range. This is a white woman. She was like, they haven't done anything with their shade range, and unfortunately, until that changes, I can't support them. You know, that was her take. She was like, until that changes, I can't support them. That is growth and change. That is actual growth and change from someone who's sitting there saying on their platform, I can't buy this because of this, because there's a whole group of marginalized people that aren't being serviced by your brand. That is growth and change. For Sanders to bring her into this argument and, to me, muddy the waters, because that's exactly what happened, muddied the waters with some shit that had been apologized for in 2017, and in 2020 she's still behaving in a way that's showing that she has grown and changed from that behavior. You've muddied the waters. You just brought a banana into the whole fruit salad, and like we didn't need that banana. That banana was perfectly fine.
Get the fuck out of here, banana.
Yeah, leave that banana on the damn vine. Like there was no reason for that to be here. And like this idea that he has the right and the ability to just come in and just start bringing everyone to task who's ever, done blackface or who's ever said anything racist, without even having done any research into who they are now. Like it literally, like, listen, it was this long for me to find the information on her. It was so fast. And then I'm like, dude, are you serious? Like, you brought her into this and there was no reason to, thank you. She did. And she was horrified and continues to be horrified by something when she's obviously grown and changed. It actually does bother me that that's going to keep being a thing that keeps like coming. Cause I'm like, no, it should only continue to be a thing if she's continuing to behave like that. That's why Jefferson Starship is having this problem, because he's continued to behave like this. It's not because he's changed. If he had changed, we wouldn't be having these conversations now. So the fact that she's actually changed, I was like, dude, what did you even do? Like, why would you throw her in here and like just act like she's part of a problem? And here's the thing, she was quietly sitting in her corner, not doing a damn thing. She was just sitting in her corner, minding her business when he just chucked her into business. I was like, bro, bro.
So basically, he did a video fairly recently calling out her Samantha Ravindall's like blackface, and like kind of mentioned her apology, but didn't, and had a messy interaction on Twitter. And as Audra said, it was just like, of all the things to talk about right now, this is not the thing, because she seems she has changed and she has evolved, and she's the like first person to call herself out about it. So it's like, why don't you just continue to put the heat on Jebediah Storkelfish?
Yeah, and he
like
if you didn't see it on Twitter, like she reposted her apology. It was like and she was basically explaining like, I apologize, I've grown and changed, and every time I see this come up, my heart sinks because like I know I'm forever going to be associated with this. So the way that Sanders worded it, and I can't look at it right now, but the way he worded it was basically that he was essentially entitled to a statement from her, and basically told her she was playing the victim. Like he literally sat there and was just like, well, all you had to do was give me a statement instead of playing the victim. And I was like, first of all, she doesn't have to fucking talk to you. You're not actual news, number one, sir. Sir, I'm going to need you to sit down. I'm going to need you to take a seat. You're not entitled to a woman at all. Yeah. The fact that he thought he was entitled to her is already enough for me. I'm like, you are not entitled to her. She doesn't have to talk to you. And that's what really irritated me. I was like, she doesn't have to talk to you. What statement is she going to give you that she hasn't already put? She already put this information there. And that apology, first of all, was in 2017, long before the Dramageddon apologies even started coming, and she was already coming correct. So I'm not trying to hear shit from Sanders on Samantha Ravindall. He can eat a dick. So like that was not okay with me, and I did not. And again, I'm very anti-males trying to force women into positions. I did not like that. I did not like that it essentially felt like he was trying to force her to give him an exclusive on a video that he was doing for no fucking reason. Like there was no reason. Zero reason.
It was just scrounging for some kind of content, in my opinion. Yeah. Also, I wanted to go back because I did feel kind of weird about it as well. So Angela had commented about Tati mentioning her sexual assault and possibly using it as another manipulation. I did feel weird about it because I was just like, is that... I guess for me with her, I don't trust her.
Yeah.
And that was even before Bi Sisters. I don't trust her. So her whole video situation, I'm just like,
well, and here's a fun fact. Not a fun fact, because sometimes when I say fun fact, the fact is not in fact
often. Often when you say it.
But like, I am also a victim of assault, right? Because of that, I wouldn't be hanging out with a monster like that. That's what I'm going to say. Because of something like I would not hang. There have been people that I have dated where they gave me a weird vibe, or something about them felt strange, and I immediately cut it off because of being a victim of assault. Now, I know that everybody isn't me, so I'm not here to say that. But it just seemed weird that was like part of her apology. I don't trust her, and it's specifically, again, if Bi Sister hadn't happened, maybe this would be a different boat. But like, it's odd to think that her and James are now kikiing in a corner. You know, they're like, yay! Like, I just feel like, I feel like the old guard of YouTube is much like the dying racist ends of this country. Like, that's what's happening. The last gasp of the old guard of YouTube that like to spill a lot of tea on each other and keep voice notes and all that shit. Like, they're dying out and they're looking desperately for anything.
Hey Tina,
we were talking about you, lady. Have a good one.
Yeah,
100,000.
That amazing haul of yours. Yes, please go subscribe to Tina.
Yes, 2020 is the year that she hits 100K. If I have to put her fucking photo on my stories every damn day. Y'all gonna make this happen because I'm tired. Tina's been on this platform way too long to not have her flowers, y'all. So like, let's make this happen.
Seriously.
But good night, Tina. Because like, actually, it's funny because I actually talked to Tina. When I sent her a message, like I DM'd her once because I was like, well, more than once, but I DM'd her and I was like, I have a question for you since you've been on YouTube longer than I have. She was like, yeah. I said,
yeah.
And all this time, every time the Coffin King says he has receipts, he never produces them. Have you seen them? Like, maybe I'm like stupid. And she was like, no, I ain't seen them. I was like, okay. I was like, all right, this is not me. Because I've been saying that. I'm like, I've never seen a receipt, like receipt one. I've never seen one. So like, it just,
this.
Yes, that's also, what we're gonna make that in trend.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you, Cindy. Yes, like the stream if you haven't already. Yeah, I just felt like she was saying it in a way where I'm like, okay, you're trying to weaponize this. That's how it felt to me. You're trying to weaponize this and turn it into something else. But I don't trust what you said so far or what you said a year ago. So how am I going to continue to trust this takedown? Oh, it's okay.
Hunting for the big ass spider in my house. No, there's a big spider in my house somewhere. I'm just trying to figure out where he went. Like, I don't mind him. I just don't want him landing on me and surprising me because that shit's so rude. Like, it's just, I'm like, bro.
I don't mind spiders, but I don't want them, like, on me. Oh, my gosh. Oh, this is the worst. This is the worst. People are like, positive vibes only. Like, you were a cunt in high school. Leave me alone.
They're also trying to care about him or some kind of it works. Hey, positive vibes only. Beach body. Like, that's what those people are doing.
Yeah, Keisha. Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like people, so this was the thing, and I think that I said this in Xavier's, and am I saying, is it just Xavier or is it Xavier? Because I always say Xavier no matter how it's spelled, no matter what. But in his live chat, I said, you know, everybody was all for cancel culture when they were dragging the fuck out of women. As long as women were getting dragged, everybody was down for cancel culture. They were like, drag Jackie, drag Jacqueline, drag Tati, drag them all. But the second a white male got involved, suddenly nobody was interested in cancel culture. Suddenly it was like, cancel culture so toxic.
Like, we should give them another chance, like for the 100th time.
Like, it's just a weird vibe. Yes. Giving also a valid critique. Hi, I enjoyed my tea. But yeah, giving valid critique. So like if y'all saw my Nomad palette, like I love that palette, right? But I also was able to go through and be like, hey, like this shade is a little difficult to work with. Also, this shade is lighter than I thought it was going to be. Like I thought it was going to be kind of a different color. So I'm able to like say, I like this palette. These are the issues with it. That's not me being negative. Yeah. Like I'm telling you, if you buy this, you're going to have difficulties with it because it's a deep, deep blue. So you're going to have difficulties. But for people to sit there, thank you, boo. Because like I always say Xavier because everybody I know has been Xavier. So, and they've all been black. I don't know one white Xavier. But I just thought about that. I was like, every Xavier I know has been black. So like, but it's just, you know, we have to think about how how society as a whole demonizes women to the highest levels and has no problems with dragging women through the mud, with taking them to task, with making them be humble. But we don't do that with men unless it's a black man in sports, in which case he needs to be humble. But I'm just saying we don't do that with men.
Yeah.
We just don't. We don't tell men that they need to be humble. We don't tell men that they don't need to parade around their wealth. And, you know, like if a woman does that, if a woman's like, oh shit, bitch, I gotta, because what's her name? Emma, what's her face? Emma Chamberlain. You know, she doesn't
I was like,
she has to be very. I don't watch her channel, but I watch commentary about her channel, and Keisha talks about it all the time. So, or Kenya, sorry. So she has to like wander around carefully with her expensive Louis Vuitton bags and things like that because somebody's gonna have something to say. You know what I mean? Like, she was so much better before she was, rich and bitchy. She's none of those things.
yeah.
But they've made up a narrative around her because she's a woman who has her own money. And so suddenly we need her to be humble. So she has to pretend that she doesn't have the amount of money. Like, think about this. She has to pretend that she is not rich as shit. She has to pretend she's not rich as shit so that people will feel more comfortable around her. Like, what the fuck? Why is that a thing for women? Why do we have to act like we, like, oh, let me just humble myself so that you don't realize that I do well for myself? Like, what?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say jail, Jesse, but I would say I really feel like what she did was disgusting and dirty. And the reason that she's not in jail is because too many of her fans just didn't care enough to really do anything. And that's what the whole YouTube thing comes down to, right? Like, if I would hope that my subscribers would keep me to task and wouldn't allow me to get, like, first of all, it's very difficult for me to get a big head because if you ask Emily, anytime like I'm even gaining in subscribers, I'm like, I'm not gonna look, like, fuck this shit. I'm gonna go take a nap. Literally every time. Like, I'm like, I'm gonna go take a nap. It's getting weird. So
I think Jacqueline just should have had her brand taken away from her, in my opinion. I think the brand should have just been shut down. I think it should have been shut down and let her sit in timeout and like deal with her shit, pay for whatever, like pay her customers back. Yes, this. Yeah. It's not baffling to me. It's quite normal. It annoys the shit out of me. Exactly. Yes. And this is what Kenya talked about a lot, where it's like specifically when it comes to Black women, white women, white men, Black men feel attacked. And they're just like, you're not allowed to do this. Like when she talked about the like humble, kind of like the humble brag, where like somebody had posted about having their Honda from 2003, and people were like, yes, this is the kind of content we're here for, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, so you can rave about an old car that's new to you because it's just like humble enough, but don't dare rave about your new car, your new Tesla.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, so I even encountered this when I'm dating, like, cause I live in kind of a shishi ass neighborhood. I ain't gonna lie. I do. And I moved here on purpose because it was shishi, because I wanted to live in a neighborhood where I could walk my dog and not be afraid of walking Bo at night, because where I used to live, I don't even want to talk about the spirits, but that place had bad juju, and at night it was especially bad, and I really didn't like walking him at night there. So, Abby's back.
Welcome back, Abby.
But so, like, I live in this kind of shishi neighborhood, right? So dating is very interesting because these men are just stunned, because they'll just look at like, oh, this is where you live. I'm like, mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, you must be doing well for yourself. I'm like, I mean, well enough. Like, I planned some shit so that I could live where I want to live and be comfortable. And then like they're just insecure, and I'm like, listen, I didn't start dating you because you make, $1 million a year. That's not why I started dating you. So like, if that's what you're expecting everything to be like, well, I don't know what to tell you. And I can't fix that for you. Like, I'm not going to be humble, because what I'm always going to remember is this is so weird and dumb when like this actually comes to Black men, but I used to watch the UFC really heavy. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And what I noticed about Black fighters versus white fighters, like you would have, like now you have like a Conor McGregor, right, who can essentially be as cocky as he wants. Everybody loves it. when a black male fighter was doing the same thing, everybody would come and be like, well, he just needs to be more humble. And that kind of shit just sticks with me to this day. The amount of times that a black man in the state would behaving the same way was essentially consistently told that like he just needs to be more humble. Like, yeah, he wins all the time, but he needs to be more humble. I'm like, why does he need to be humble about kicking ass? Like, he's number one. I wouldn't be humble if I was number one. No, I'm not gonna be humble.
Sport.
Don't sport let my ass get number one on YouTube. Don't let me get number one on YouTube. There would be a whole video of me like with a fucking parade and somebody rubbing my feet and feeding me grapes. Like,
happy birthday, Keisha. Good night.
Happy birthday.
It's your actual birthday now. Good night.
Stay out of trouble, man. Stay out of trouble.
Also, why is it surprising that you're doing well for yourself? Why?
Because I'm supposed to be a lowly, ugly black woman. I am none of those things. So sorry. So sorry. I'm attractive, mostly fit. I'm also very smart. And I'm witchy as fuck. Exactly. Ask all the people who like I've randomly picked their shit up. Listen. Listen, y'all.
You're just like, I'm amazing. That's why I'm doing well for myself. Leave me alone now.
Yeah, I'm like, because I realized I wanted these things. And yes, nobody can let Jackie have anything. 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 Like, she can have her Lemaire. Everything is criticized. She can have it all day. Like, but it's very frustrating because I just look at how, you know, if you look at the difference in between how, like, first of all, Jackie's subscriber count should be significantly higher than it is, but it's not.
Agreed.
So I'll just settle on that one.
I mean, it's just like we're talking about Tina, who was in here earlier, where I'm like, how are you not at 1 million subscribers, in my opinion? You're not even at 100, like, not even at 100K. That's just some fucking racist shit. Like, that's not even just like, oh, it's just, what?
Because, like, black creators, and here's the thing that I've realized, it's not even so much that black creators are so much suppressed and or shadow banned. It's that, and I think I said this before in the roundtable, black creators have to rely on white creators to say something about them so that you can get bumped in the algorithm because you're essentially what I've noticed, because I've started noticing this on my subscription feed. Essentially, I have to subscribe to enough of certain channels and watch them so that they will continuously be recommended. And then when videos are being auto-played, they're not just going to play like, you know, Ain't Me Dawson randomly. They're not going to play that for me anymore. So what they've done is basically created a system where, like, black people can't just support black people on this platform. You have to move and you have to go and like support other like larger white creators. Even if you go support like a Patricia Bright or Jackie Aina, it's not going to help that creator. So especially as a subscriber, it's like you have to start pulling all of these other things in to get these people to be noticed. Like, you have to start busting their name out everywhere. If you want a black creator like that you love to grow, you have, like, anytime somebody's throwing a thread down being like, list some creators that you're watching right now, you got to throw in your favorite black creators. The more that you do that, the more that their name starts popping up places, the harder it is. Like, the algorithm has to pull it at that point. The algorithm has to start going, okay, well, everybody is talking about nappy-headed hobo. We can't, like, the algorithm is going to keep pulling it. And so eventually her videos are going to start showing up in a lot of people's recommended.
Yeah.
Yes.
T says it perfectly. It's like you need a white person to sponsor you before they let you into the country club. I hate it here. And here's the thing is that, like, I don't even think sometimes they care about, oh, everyone's talking about this person. Like, I really think it takes like I'm gonna like be very hyperbolic and say I think it takes like a dozen times for them to finally be like, okay, fine. I hear you guys talking about nappy headed jojoba. Fine, we're gonna put her in recommended. Like it's not just like one time where 10 white creators mention her. I feel like it's like I don't know. I just feel like the algorithm is so fucked.
It is.
Yeah.
So like that's what, because you'll find it like on Instagram. Like for instance, Christine is constantly trying to make like the hashtag Audra Glow trend, which you know what, I'm down for that. Whatever, make it happen. But but it is like it's shit like that you guys have to do. It's like really the sad part is all y'all have to basically be a whole ass army for your smaller, especially your just not just your small creators, but also your uh, persons of color, your POC, your
Yeah.
BIPOC, like you have to be like a full on army out there putting their name everywhere so that the algorithm
Yeah.
recognizes, because essentially that's what the algorithm does. The algorithm is going to have to recognize that this is a popular name or popular phrase, and once it starts recognizing that, it's going to start pushing it. So it's the reason that Black creators get suppressed the way that we do is because Black creators, like one Black person watches a bunch of Black creators, right? They're watching all these Black people. They're not necessarily doing anything wrong by not recommending them, but they don't put their name out there. They don't retweet their videos. They're not sharing it on Facebook. And this is stuff that white creators have figured out. And they say this all the time, like share me on Facebook, retweeting this. And they're always saying that.
Yeah.
So they're getting all of that momentum from their entire, from a large chunk of their subscriber base. So a large amount of their subscriber base is putting their name out there. Well, that's not happening as much with the Black creators. Not saying it doesn't happen, but it's not happening as much. And the thing that needs to happen is that if people find Black creators, Latinx, whatever you find that you enjoy, women, small creators, you need to be like tweeting them to the heavens. I do it like you wouldn't believe. Like listen, one of the reasons I'm on my Instagram, aside from the fact that I love y'all, I'm on my Instagram pumping people up and saying hello and like making them be noticed because I know that changes things. I don't have a huge platform or anything like that, but I know that just being able to have somebody else share you on their story and then you get to pop that on your story, then people are like, oh, somebody shared them somewhere. Who are they? It doesn't
Also,
matter who did it.
The Audra bump is a real thing. Even though you don't think of a big platform, Audra bump is a real thing. And this ties into the video that Kelsey Brianna J made, the discussion, as many people in her comments call it, where she talked about like, I need y'all to represent me to these brands. It's not just about PR, but it's about you as the audience saying, hey, we want to see you, brand X, work with this specific creator over here. I want to see I want to see you two work together, because it's not just about Black creators doing the work. It's not just about like putting in the work.
Correct.
When the algorithm is actively working against you, actively like hiding your content, then the audience has to put in the work of saying, hey, share this thing, share this person's picture, share this person's video, send emails to brands, tag brands, like, because one person can only do so much. And unfortunately, for a lot of Black YouTubers, they just get ignored. Brands ignore them. They get hidden. They don't get the views that they deserve, because when you search, Pat McGrath Divine Rose 2 reviews, you're going to see a lot of white reviews, and then you're going to see the Tina, the Kelsey Brown, the Jay, if you ever reviewed it, the Audras, the whatever. Even if Kelsey or Alicia is first when they upload, they get the PR, they're one of the first people uploading, they're still going to be practically, I would bet, on the second or third page, because maybe not the second or third page, maybe the bottom of the first page, but YouTube is actively hiding these videos and throwing them lower and lower and lower in the search. And it's like, how is that like not even fair? Just how is that right?
Yeah, because it's like when I started YouTube, and I think I talked about this, maybe, I don't know if I've talked about this on this channel, but when I started this, it was actually very disheartening to start with so many other creators and watch them gain like significantly while I wasn't. And then I just kept thinking, I was like, maybe it's my camera. Maybe it's my mic. Maybe it's my lighting. Maybe it's that I'm not doing well enough with editing. Like I kept going to all of the stuff that I had to feel like I was doing wrong. And what I eventually realized is I was like, it's because they're getting recommended where I'm not. We're loading up, because I was like, we're doing the same content, and I was like, listen, I'm not super fantastic, neither are they. Like, I'm not going to compare content as to who's better, but I'm just like, the difference in gains is that literally they're getting recommended and I'm not. And I didn't want to be a person who wanted to like sit there, and that again, that comes from internalized racism. I didn't want to sit there and be like, oh, I'm not getting things because I'm Black, because that's what they want. Like, there's people who want us to feel like we shouldn't feel that way, because if we feel that way, then we're not resting on our accomplishments. But I finally had to face the facts that I was like, listen, there's no reason that I have the same content. I'm doing a whole fucking show, a whole fashion show. This is the tits. Like, if y'all have not seen that shit, it is pretty intense. Like, it's a whole show. There's one that's like a story. Like, I'm on the fucking phone answering, like getting ready for a date in this motherfucker. Are you serious? Like, I did a whole like music video to like a Nadine West try-on, and I wouldn't get shit. Like, I was like,
here's the thing, is that the amount of mediocre white beauty creators, not just beauty, but in like the most content that I watch, the amount of people who are recommended to me, it's gotten actually, I don't know if it has gotten better. Maybe I've just started ignoring it. But the amount of those recommendations where I'm like, why would I want to watch this? Why would I pick this person over Audra or Kelsey or Alicia or Alex Alchemist introduced me to Amani, Danielle, like just like all of these. And it's not just like, oh, I'm specifically picking Black creators or white creators, but there are so many white creators who are mediocre, who are promoted, where I'm like, why? Why would I ever watch this? Like,
well,
ever.
I have to play. I honestly have to play with the algorithm, because I have to prove things to myself, right? So some of the things that I went and did is I had to start unsubscribing from like almost every white creator. Because at first I turned off notifications. That didn't work. So I was like, all right. So I had to start unsubscribing from all of these white creators. Creators I enjoy, by the way. I enjoy them. Yeah. But I had to unsubscribe from them for about 2 weeks while constantly watching T, Brianna, Alicia, Tina, like constantly watching, like Kenya, Amanda Beebe, just constantly watching them, liking their videos. Then I would also put their shit on playlists, watch that, and I would have to do that for a while, and then slowly like resubscribe to somebody, and then slowly resubscribe to another person, while continuing this, like, I'm just going to keep watching all the Black content I can. And it's like, you have to do the same thing on TikTok. The fact that I have to go to that link just to make sure that I'm even recommended the channels I'm subscribed to, boo. Like, I am subscribed to these channels. Like, that's what would kill me, is I'm like, how am I subscribed to this channel? And yet I'm still not getting recommended her video. Like, doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. How is this possible? How can I be subscribed to your channel? It's not going to recommend for me. But even now it happens. But finally, like, Xavier is actually one of the first people that I can really say, him and Amy Loves Makeup. But that's the first time that I saw a person of color have a video recommended that was like 5 days old. Like, I just hadn't seen that one. And then they were like, hey, did you see this? And I was like, what? Kimberly, I can't delete my history, because then I won't know what weird shit I've been watching.
Also, this, I don't like when these creators are mediocre, know they're mediocre and are okay with coasting on mediocrity instead of trying to level up.
You mean like Abby Hanna? What?
But here's you mean like white existence? Because this is a common theme with white people where it's just like, yeah, I mean, I'm literally falling upwards.
That just made me laugh so hard.
I'm
I don't know why.
and falling upward.
Yeah.
And yes. This, like, and it's like, I'll get recommended and I will like mark not interested or I will not watch them. And it's still like, they still show up and I'm like, I don't care. Yeah.
Oh, Abby, you are definitely not going to show up and recommend it. Listen.
No.
You are way too militant to show up and recommend it. You're like,
you're too nuanced. You're too like slightly goth, slightly like not slightly like alternative. Like
Katie Cat. Yeah, you were not going to show out because I literally had to find. I found Abby through some collab somewhere, and I feel like it was during like.
So you're probably on a list somewhere at the FBI.
Because like I feel like I found Abby because of some, I don't know if it was Christmas or something like, but that's how I ended up watching her channel, and it was like, oh man, Abby is like, she's like the 90s like angsty bitch I wanted to be but didn't become. Like
exactly. I like told you this the other day.
Movies I watched to like turn me into a hardened like fuck shit up girl, and like the she was born after the fact and still did it. I'm like, how did she become Parker Posey? What the fuck?
I told you the other day I was wearing like a choker and then another necklace, and I was just like, I'm living my best Abby life, like channeling like the cool like aesthetic. But yeah, I just also Angela.
You were not.
I'm just laughing. Exactly. I'm like, because that is not you.
Well, and even like, if you even look at Abby's channel, like I feel like she should have far more subscribers than she does. But I feel like also they keep her pushed to a different level of the algorithm because she's like, fuck Jeff Bezos, fuck Amazon, fuck capitalism. Like she's like, let it all go. Right? She's like, let it burn. Like, so
I love this. The fact that it took 6 years for YouTube to recommend Abby to me is evidence that YouTube is broken. Abby is Pacific Northwest straight hair me.
Like it actually still greatly offends me sometimes when I'm watching Abby and I'm just like, seriously, how did she become Parker Posey and I didn't? I just want to know. Did she even know who Parker Posey was? Was she born? Like I'm so upset. Like old and angry over here.
You really got angry there. Parker Posey is iconic, by the way.
Oh my God! Did you see
we both clicked the comments.
No.
We're sharing the account tonight for the first time, so we can both click comments.
Hey, we've been doing good so far. Like, damn.
That sounds like an amazing dinner. Hash browns and cake. Sign me up.
It really does. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
it's
yeah. Because I thought I was like, listen, I thought I was gonna turn out to be like this, like really cool, like Alterna girl. Because I used to like rollerblade, I used to skateboard, I listened to punk rock. Like I was ready, I was ready. I don't know exactly what happened. I blame it on Rob Zombie. There we go. Yeah, she's been on. Oh my God. Why are we the same person? Are you serious?
Yeah, she has. So I remember finding, I have to look back. I kind of want to remember. So I just remember this moment on Abby's channel where she was at 8,000 subscribers. Now she's at like, you're at like what, 45K now? 40K, 50K, somewhere in that range. But I remember you were at 8K for a long time. And I don't remember how many years ago this was because I know since at time. And I was just like, why? Yay!
Yeah.
I was like, why the hell is Abby only at 8,000 subscribers? And then I remember you being stuck at like 13K for a while and just this whole time. And now, like, I feel like I looked up and you were at like 40 plus K. And I was like, fucking finally, like people are giving her a due.
Listen, I have a conspiracy theory. A lot of people are about to start seeing, like, they're going to keep seeing some growth because YouTube's going to need to make money because there are going to be people not on this platform anymore. We know. I'm watching it. I'm just watching it. I'm just telling you, I'm watching it and I see it. I'm like,
There is a reason why mid-roll, why now videos 8 minutes or longer are able to qualify for mid-rolls rather than videos 10 minutes or longer.
Well, and just as a general rule, if you want to make money, you can't keep making that money off of like because like here's the thing that they don't ever think about. What happens when those $1 million, like those million subscriber people are like, fuck it, I don't want to do YouTube anymore. Like, what do they do then? Like, and what if they were like, I don't want to do YouTube anymore and I'm removing my channel? Like, what do they do then?
I wonder how many people do that though. How many people actually remove their channel?
A lot of people
also,
do.
Also, Emily Original says random, but I'll be doing makeup for a lesbian lesbian wedding in October. I can't wait. That sounds amazing.
No,
okay, that's a new name, lesbian. It's a lesbian or it's a wedding. I don't know.
So it's really weird, but like a lot of the people like that I started YouTube with or whatever, there are people who had, and I guess they don't have like huge YouTube channels, but a lot of them removed all their videos too when they stopped doing it. They just removed all their videos too. So I think a lot of people, like when they quit, a lot of people just remove their shit. And see, in 2010, I was what? 20? I feel like I was 20. Wait, no, I was 30. I didn't even know about YouTube. Like I knew about YouTube, but I didn't know about YouTube in the sense of like YouTube. Does that make sense? Like I used it to like find out information about how to do household shit, but like I had no idea that like you could like do YouTube. I was like, how do I do that? Also, I used it for the wrong things. We're gonna move away from that now.
Oh. Yeah. I wonder if that'll actually happen.
So here's the thing. I think what we're seeing, and this is my speculation. I think they're finally starting to realize that they're going to have to actually, one, monitor their platform. And again, I know people want to yell like free speech and all this stuff, but there is literally a difference in between free speech and like hate speech, which you can remove. Yes. You can. Yeah. Like Spotify has done that. Like other platforms have removed hate speech and all this kind of stuff. So it really is something that, and they're also going to have to realize that they have to change the like how they're pushing people on their platform, because you can't just like there's a lot of people who have 1 million subscribers, but all of them don't have the same impact like with sponsors and ads, right? So like beauty YouTube is a fucking gold mine, which is why they haven't done a lot of monitoring of this side of YouTube. They monitor a lot of other sides of YouTube from some of Petty Page's videos that I've seen, but they don't monitor enough of the beauty space, right? Because it's a cash cow. A lot of people want to buy beauty products. A lot of people. And so like they need to find a place where somebody's put it on their face to decide if they want it. It's a lot different than having a celebrity endorsement. To have a regular human being be like, hey, I tried this shit out and I hate it, or I love it, or it's okay, or like this is great, but this is not so great, is a completely different feel. So truthfully, what they're going to have to start doing is realizing, like a lot of brands are starting to realize, you're going to have to start pushing and branching out. You can't continue to rely on that old guard, because I've said this to you multiple times. Tati was on like a 6-week break, and there was probably PR piling the fuck up in her house. None of that saw
She
the
probably
light
has
of day.
like 2 rooms full of PR now versus her
Yeah.
1 room full.
And none of that saw the light of day when it released. Not a bit of it. And all of those brands were counting on her to say something. No, and she didn't because she wasn't doing YouTube at the time. They're going to need to have to like start really moving to the smaller channels because, and I'm not saying that for me, just for me, because like, oh, I want this thing. It's because it makes sense financially. You're also investing in people who potentially aren't problematic. And then if you find out someone's problematic, it doesn't hurt you to pull them from your lineup. Right now, it hurts them to pull people from their lineup because those people make them too much money.
And Stapleborn is right. YouTube sure monitored the hell out of the pandemic talk.
Exactly.
They should be removing the videos mocking child sexualization and racism. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
yeah.
We were hitting the same thing. I'm sorry.
They want to have the free market where people can post virtually whatever they want, but at the same time, tell Tati to remove her video because it reflects badly on the platform. I truly wonder if that's the truth. Because again, I don't trust her.
It is. That's why they're making moves now. That's one of the things that she did tell the truth about. And I guarantee, because listen, she made that video, and what, a week later, YouTube rolls out like, oh, hey, we're now going to have mid-rolls that can happen at 8 for videos that are 8 minutes long. What? She tells the truth about the platform, and they're like, suddenly they're allowing mid-rolls. It used to be 10 minutes. Now they're like, oh, it has to be, it only has to be 8 minutes long.
Yeah. I thought that was more based on demonetizing Dane Chawson. But she also technically allegedly had her lawyer like cover what she said. So that's the main reason why I do believe it. And I agree with T is that I wish that they would prioritize monitoring channels that have an account in good standing over many years. Yeah. Like I'm not going to suddenly upload a snuff film, stop demonetizing everything I upload. Exactly. Like, I think if you show a track record, which is pretty easy if you look at your YouTube history to see like, okay, they've consistently uploaded things that don't get flagged, don't have comments that are all reported, or you don't have to focus on those channels. I mean, you obviously have to keep an eye on them.
Well, and Twitter doesn't
you don't have to prioritize them.
Like, because here's the thing. You can't, like YouTube, obviously people can harass and report as much as they want from multiple emails, which is weird because even if you create, like, even if I create another email, it's still coming from my IP address. So that should be enough, like with what's happening to Mo, for instance, that should be more than enough to like stop, like realize that it's coming from the same IP address. It doesn't matter if it's 17,000 different emails, it's coming from the same IP address. And so eventually you have to go, okay, then somebody's obviously got a problem, and then ban that person not only from being able to report, but from ever being able to start a channel, because that's harassment at that point. Like you're harassing somebody and you should not be allowed to do that.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing though, is that again, I think it's pretty easy. In particular, I'm thinking with most situations, it's pretty easy to have different IP addresses or to make it look like you're different people. Unfortunately, I don't know enough about tech to know how to do it, but I know enough to know that it's not that hard.
It's just having a VPN. If you have a VPN, you can do it.
Yeah.
I mean, because you can pull it from different countries, but like realistically, there's always a way to track it back.
Yeah. And yeah, I also this, like, they might demonetize you, but then they like review it and then it gets monetized again. It's like, why don't we skip you screwing T over for the height of the views? Like, okay, you upload something, it gets demonetized, you ask for a review, a day later it gets reviewed and approved, but you've already gotten your first 10,000 views.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I can guarantee you that the kind of people who report, they're not just doing it to one channel. That's the thing. So they're doing it to multiple channels to be assholes. So at some point,
and they don't give you reasons.
They don't give you reasons. They don't tell you why.
They don't give you reasons.
Because I've told y'all, I had one video where somebody did a copyright claim on what I like music that I have from Wondershare Filmora. Okay. And they tried to copyright, they tried to copyright like maybe 45 seconds of music. And I was like, yeah, well, fuck you.
Ooh.
So I essentially just went through and said, okay. And I hid that video. Like they're not, because I wasn't even monetized at the time, but I was like, if I'm not going to make money off of it, you damn sure aren't. Like, I think that, and I feel like if more creators really just started doing that to people who tried to like do this shit and like copyright claim you when you didn't, like when you in good faith upload, like just fucking hide the video, fuck them. Because then they'll start learning like they can't play this little game where they're trying to come for your bag when they were perfectly content giving you the music for free at one point in time. Now they want to copyright it and like, no, well, now it's my song. And that's
But
the
it's
problem.
even so, it's so weird to me because the thing is that I've had different people experience different things when it comes to copyrighted songs. Like they let you keep it up, but they were going to take the money if you made any money.
Yeah.
I've had something strike or like copyright claim, and they privated it immediately. They were like, "You're not allowed to put it back up." Like I could not change it from private to public once it got hit.
So part of it too is because I think it depends on who's doing the claim, but also it depends on how they claimed it. Like it completely depends on how they claimed it, because some really are like, so like I had a video that was struck because it was like me doing weird Britney Spears shit. We're not going to talk about it, but like, and so I had to like put other weird music on top of it, and I did that. And I was like, okay, it looks weird now because like this music doesn't match, but okay. But some of them basically they're trolls, and what they want is just to make money without doing anything. So I'm not gonna let them. And I was like, okay, well that's cool. I don't need this video. It was a very good video, but like I'm never gonna public it because the thing is when you go back and you try to fight them on it, YouTube does nothing. They absolutely do nothing.
Oh yeah, no, there was nothing. It was just like, nope, it just needs to stay private. So I ended up re-uploading it with different music. But it was just one of those things where, again, I've also heard other people just get like a claim, but it doesn't get taken down. And so it's just a weird thing where I'm like, exactly. The rules are so loose, they don't have to hold themselves accountable for messing with their coin.
Well, and that's why, like, I'm a
Basically.
strong believer. Listen, I get that YouTube is a free platform, but I do believe that they like. So for instance, the reason that so many creators now have to, like, they don't have to, but will say, hey, by the way, when you do a super chat, when you do this, like, I love getting them. It's so awesome and it's so fun. But at the same time, I also know that YouTube's taking 30%. Which I wouldn't mind if I had 1 million subscribers, right? If I have 1 million subscribers, you take 30% from like, $50. It's not going to destroy my life. The problem comes when you have a small channel and someone's being kind enough to help me support my channel, because there's always things I'm trying to do for my channel. I think I need to like get one more piece of lighting and then I'm good. But I need under lighting. So if I just need like a little underlight and then I'll be bellissimo. But I'm trying to, with all the things that you try to do on YouTube, for your subscribers to try to support you, and for so long for them to have not known that when they were giving a super chat that YouTube was taking a 30% cut, and it didn't matter how many subscribers you had. Like, that's problematic to me. I feel like from one point, like from this point to this point should be 1%. From this point to this point should be another percentage. Like, and they get to the 30% once you hit a high enough subscriber count to where everybody's making money. Like, that's the thing, is like everybody should be getting a good chunk of that pie. Yeah. But if somebody were to give me $50 knowing that I'm really only getting like 30 of it, so I don't know how to do math, but like if they know that,
yeah,
like then they're upset because they had $50 to give you, but they didn't want to have to give you $80 to make up for the fact that, like, let me give you $80 to make up for the fact that YouTube is going to take a chunk of it. So you give $100, like
they're still going to run videos even when they demonetize you.
Exactly. And that's the thing. for those of you who start YouTube, please understand that your videos still do have ads. Like, even if you're not monetized, your videos do still have ads. YouTube's still making money off of you. This is why I don't like that 30%, because when you're making zero money on YouTube, they're still making money on you. So I look at it very much as like, but why couldn't you change the percentage that you're taking based on subscriber count? And then if somebody, like, once somebody's up there, then yeah, you hit your full 30%. But I don't feel like you need to be taking 30% from someone who has a channel that has 3,400 subscribers, because every time, like, I always feel like such a jerk, because every time somebody gives me a super chat and I'm so grateful and thankful for it, I always feel bad, because I'm like, they took a chunk of it. They took a lot of it.
Yeah.
And then, like, it also
Which
makes me
is why
feel
we appreciate this too. If y'all feel generous, like, we always have our like all of that in the description box for that reason.
Yeah, we always keep that in there, because I know that there are people, once they know, like, oh shit, because like people want to support the channel. Like, I feel very confident sometimes in the fact that, like, my Patreon, like, most people are just supporting my channel. Like, they don't really care, because I've noticed that, like, I don't think a lot of people care so much about what content is on there. Like, I wish they, like, because I'm like trying to do cool things. Not that I'm angry or anything. I'm not angry. I just started feeling pretty confident. I'm like, I think there's just people who are like being like supportive, which is awesome. So it makes me wonder, I'm like, should I just switch to like that membership thing? I don't know. But the point is, PayPal doesn't take a huge cut. Cash App doesn't take it. The Venmo doesn't really, there's a cut.
Yeah.
So the fun fact about them is there's a cut somewhere, but mostly that cut comes from if you want to take the money and like get it earlier, and then they charge you a fee. And so,
if you send PayPal as a gift, even if it's not to somebody you know, I feel like, or as a friend, I think they don't take it. But even then, it's a much smaller percentage than YouTube, and Venmo and Cash App have never taken anything from me, unless, like you said, unless the deposit process. But the process from person to person, there's not anything taken, to my knowledge.
Yeah, because I use all the money that people send through Venmo or Cash App. I typically use that to be able to buy products that I can look and review.
Same.
That's what I use it for. Like, that's exactly what it's for. I'm like, ooh, now I can buy some more indie stuff, and I can have like that up on my channel. So it's that, and it's like stuff that goes into my channel. Like, I was able to get the camera, and like able to pay for a year of what is that called now? I can't remember it.
Canva Pro.
Canva, yeah. So I was able to pay for a year of Canva Pro. So instead of me paying monthly, I'm able, like, I have a year subscription to it, so I can just create all the thumbnails. I can also make merch, like all this kind of stuff. So it's really a good, excuse me. So it's really a very good deal. And like, that's the kind of stuff that I use that money for, like full transparency.
Exactly.
So I'm like, yes, I'm able to do these things. And like, now I have like my year subscription to Wondershare Filmora. It helps, like, for next month, I'm going to be like, we share this account. So next month I'll be the one.
We set it up so we have the pro account, but we don't have to, both have an account. It makes no sense.
Yeah. So we have a pro account and we're both sharing it. So it's like all of those kinds of contributions, that's what it goes for. And so then, and then if I don't necessarily need it for something, I've been doing donations, but I'm not a person who puts that shit up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a person who shows receipts being like, I donated this to this, because that's just not who I am. Yeah. Like, I'm a person who wants to like help people behind closed doors and not really have everybody know that I'm helping people. I get uncomfortable.
So this is what we're talking about, where you can send money through Venmo, you can send money through PayPal, you can send money through the Cash App, versus a super chat. Super chats are never not great. Just know that. But also understand that YouTube is taking 30% of that. So if you don't care and you just want to do it in that spot, go for it.
Because so like, and a lot of you probably don't know, like especially indie brands, a lot of them sell through Etsy. So
Yeah.
in order to avoid shipping, you really have to like rack it up. Like you have to like
I
they're
mean,
like,
most
oh
indie brands, even if it's not Etsy, it's like, I mean,
yeah,
Sincerely Alex and I did a combo order with Lethal Cosmetics because they're a German-based indie brand. With everything happening with the pandemic, the shipping rate was like $25 to the
yeah,
US unless you hit a certain price point. If we
it's
both bought things
$175.
together, 150, no, I don't think, yeah, 150. And between the two of us, we spent that. So we were able to get it. And then I just shipped to her. There's still a little shipping cost in there, but not $25 per person.
Yeah,
So it's tricky. And yeah, everything I realized when I got my camera that I had been on Patreon for 6 months, and I wouldn't say that my Patreon in 6 months actually paid for my camera, but on average, what I was making per month at that point in time theoretically would have paid for my camera. So it was a fun little moment of like, oh, like y'all kind of paid for this. You kind of did. So it's just every little bit like goes back into the channel. It really does. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
and
I
a lot
mean,
of well, and
yeah.
I'm just like that. Maybe because I'm old school. I'm like that because I don't. First of all, I get uncomfortable by people like, "Oh my gosh, you did such a good thing." It makes me really uncomfortable. I'm like, "No, I just did what you're supposed to do." The other is like I often donate to a lot of like animal causes because like animals are way better than people. So I'm like animals are better than people.
They are.
And so it's like I have to think about things like, okay, well, when I make it to such and such a point, because I wonder about getting Bo a buddy, but like he's too spoiled and it won't work out. So then I just try to save his buddies with like any donations that I can make, and I'm careful about what's going on right now on who I donate to, not because like uh like I just worry about some of these folks being, not as honest. But then I remember like it doesn't matter if they're not honest because I gave it in good faith, and what they choose to do is not my business anymore.
Exactly. Yeah. It doesn't really matter because again, I still think like as great as donations are, there's a bigger systemic issue at play with businesses and corporations and taxes and all this shit where I'm like, there are so many ways where we could have the money to fund all of these issues that are happening in this country where it's not people literally having to support each other. It's amazing that we are
Yeah.
doing that and that
Yeah.
it is happening more. But it also really frustrates me that like again going back to like the kind of the gatekeeping and policing of like how you spend your money where it's like yes donating is good but also then there's like the bigger can of worms of like okay a lot of people be like okay well I'll just donate to like Salvation Army or Susan G. Komen or like they'll just pick the biggest organization to donate to and I'm like yeah that money's probably not going anywhere near where you want it to be like
Yeah.
in terms of actually helping the cause.
Well, and like you were saying, like because Ken, as told by Kenya, has said this, like we're all passing around the same dirty dollar, like you know what I mean? And
yes,
there just
exactly.
comes a level, like, and again, I say that the reason I am like this is because I look at it, I go, yes, YouTube, you provided the platform, but everything else I provided. You know what I mean? Like everything else, I'm like, I got my own lighting, I got my own audio, I got my own camera, I got my like, all of this I did, all of the extraneous things I got. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
for you to take such a large cut when like literally you just gave the platform, I'm like, okay, but like, what? It shouldn't be, but a lot of people use it as that. And the most people not most, well, yeah, a large amount of assholes who use GoFundMe are the very people who don't want universal health care. But the second something happens to them, they're like, I've got to GoFundMe. You're like, oh, I thought you paid your bills. I thought you paid your bills. Like that, because that's what they always say.
Yeah, exactly. As Angela said, GoFundMe should not be an insurance plan. And yes, Patreon takes less percentages than YouTube, but T makes a point, and I don't think I quite realized that if you have the $1 pledge, they're going to take like 40%. So I think that's why a lot of creators don't have the $1 pledge, but I've kept it because I just think it's a good baseline. If people want to do that, I'm not going to be like, well, no, I need you to give me $3 a month or more. Like, whatever you feel comfortable doing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, and recently they started having to charge taxes because they just got to tax everything down. Because see, the fun thing about that is it's double taxation.
Yep.
You know that, right?
Yep.
Because they pay taxes, and then they paid it to me and took the taxes out, and then at the end I have to do taxes on it again, and I'm like, why wouldn't you just let them give us their solid $3, and then at the end of the year you square that shit up? Because they're viewing it as income again, and it's like, that's the thing, it's not income. It's not income in the sense of income.
The whole premiums, deductibles, just give me universal health care, which means you've taken a certain money out of my taxes, and I can go to the doctor and not have to be like, oh, well, you owe me $20 now. I'm sorry, what? Like, I don't, because it's not clear. It's not clear of like, here's your plan. You're going to owe this much if you do this, and this much if you do that, this much if you do that. It's just like, well, yeah, I mean, you have a certain deductible and a certain minimum, and it is, and I'm just like,
yeah, because it actually boggles my mind. Because you go, they're like, your copay is $25. You're like, okay, you pay that. You go see your doctor. You do whatever the fuck. You go home. A week later, a fucking bill shows up, and it's like, you owe $17.13, and you're like, I'm not paying it. And you don't have to. Do you know why? Because that amount is too low to show up on your credit report. Don't pay them. Fuck them. Oh, I saw that.
That's amazing. That is awesome. Yeah. I mean, they take a certain percentage from the pledges, and then when they actually do a payout, then they take another percentage. It never felt like a huge percentage, but yeah, it's again, it still feels better than YouTube, but then again, YouTube is like fucking us, so
But it's just like, this country's so weird because they'll say that you can't be taxed twice, but you get taxed almost 3 times on that, essentially.
Yeah.
Like they're charging people taxes who give you the money, then they tax the money that you get, and then they tax it again to, like, they basically, like, all of those fees are essentially taxes. Like, that's the thing about fees. They call them fees because they don't want you to know that they're double taxes. Night, Christine.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's a fee, not a tax.
Yeah, that's why everything has fees attached to it, because they really are taxes. That's what they are. But they don't want you to be able to claim that. So it's like with your credit card and things like that, like they don't want you to be able to claim that as a tax. So they just call it a fee, and they just tack on all of these fees. So you're like,
that is the life motto. I like my little community, and I have hash browns and cakes. I'm all right.
I know I'm about to have to go eat some cinnamon buns. I got these little cinnamon rolls, like these little cinnamon balls from my food joint, and I'm feeling them.
Nice.
I need them.
I know. I just realized we're going for almost 3.5 hours. Jeez.
I know. Where did the time go? And there's still 60 of you here. You guys have got to go to bed.
Seriously. Also, caffeine and sarcasm. I had to have brain surgery 2 weeks into recovery, and I'm fighting my insurance because somehow this insane universe, my surgery was declared elective. This is why I hate our healthcare system. I could rant about it forever.
For like ever.
If I'm being honest.
Forever.
That's ridiculous. Buns and balls.
That's so true.
Oh, fuming is right.
Yeah, don't get me started on that because I'm like, listen, if y'all gonna give men dick pills and you're gonna leave us, because listen, birth control is not about not having babies. And every time somebody says, I'm like, oh, I guess you don't know anything about health. Well, you wouldn't. You wouldn't. A person who believes that wouldn't know that at all. Right? That story. Have y'all?
It's cold. It's
It is
cold.
cold. It's really cold. I can't. It's so cold. Like I would.
What?
Yeah, that happens. Listen, Amazon does not pay taxes anywhere. Do you know that? Anywhere. Because they bring
I'm
jobs.
not surprised.
They bring jobs for people who can't get jobs. They bring jobs for people who just like need something immediately, and as well as insurance. And then they pay you like $12 an hour. And you're like, oh, well, actually, currently they're paying $15 an hour, but they took away all of the other good incentives that made it so you made significantly more than that $15 an hour, but that's cool.
And just break your back while you're working.
Yeah. Back, who needs one of those?
Yes, anger. Just immediate anger.
I know.
Yeah, exactly. You can't have birth control, but you also can't have abortions. Because you're a woman, so you can't have anything.
But for boys, and this is what kills me, is every time they're like, well, boys will be boys. And I'm like, no, wait, hold on now. You can't tell a woman to be a prude and not have sex, but then also say boys will be boys and that she's supposed to give it up, but nobody's supposed to get pregnant, but you can't have any birth control, but you can't teach them about condoms, but you can't have what are we supposed to do? We're not all going to have butt sex. I'm sorry.
Also, I think IUDs should be more commonly discussed.
Yes.
I feel like IUDs only exist if you are a person of the internet that really dives in and hears about it. Because I had a friend that got one 12 years ago, and she struggled. This was in North Carolina. I feel like I've told this story, but like in the capital of the state in like 2008, she went through the phone book, the actual phone book, and got to a doctor with the last name of the letter W before she got a doctor that would even listen to her, because she wanted an IUD, had not had kids, and was not married, but was in a long-term relationship. So yeah. Rami. Sorry.
No, but here's the thing. The reason I even said that is because I had, like in college, I had a friend who was Lebanese. It was not uncommon for them to be doing that. And it was horrible. The reason it was horrible is because they were treating it just like, taco love. And it's not the same. One requires significant preparation. And so these women are like going through extreme pain, potentially really hurting themselves because their boyfriend wants some, but they have to be virgins when they have sex, when they get married. So it's like, well, that somehow, I don't know why that the butt is like, oh, you're still a virgin, because you're not. There was still penetration. Like, I don't know if we all know that, but still penetrated, not a virgin. Like,
oh, there was a lot of kids in my like middle school, high school growing up where you're a virgin, you're everything but the vagina. You can get blowjob, you can have butt sex.
It should have just been called the butt.
Virgin.
It just should have been called the butt, because like dudes aren't waiting around for a BJ. They're just gonna do it in the butt. If that's the option.
The BJ is the starter.
Yeah, that's the starter kit, but then they're like tired of it, and that's within 2 weeks because they're like young and horny. So like,
oh, of course, it has to do with glorification of the hymen.
I did.
And yes, I think
I did. I don't know if you were here for that. I went to college with a girl who was from Lebanon, and there were so many things that I had to save her from, not because I had to, but because they were ignorant Caucasian.
You were a friend.
And I had to stop them at one point because they were trying to go through the things in our room, because I shared the room with her, to see if she was a princess, because I came home early because once again I was skipping class. We're not going to talk about it. And I came home early and I found them in my room and I was like, what the fuck are you guys doing here? And they're like, oh, we just want to see if she's a princess. And I was like, get the fuck out. Like, that's what I was like, get out. And they're like,
this is what friends are for.
And I was like, no, get out. I was like, if she was a princess, don't you think she would have a bodyguard? Like, what are you guys talking about? Get out of here. They made like, yeah.
I just love that's Mormon logic. Exactly.
Like the logic behind like the fact that they have daddy-daughter dances and where like daughters pledge their virginity to their fathers.
Yeah. The father-daughter connection when it comes good night, Brittany, when it comes to like virginity and marriage and all of that is fucking gross. I'm sorry. It's gross. Like, no.
It's a weird deal.
I was about to click that comment.
Yeah. Yeah. It was so weird to me. Like that was some weird ass shit because I thought it was so weird. One of them was from Oregon and she was not representing the PNC very well. So I was like, oh. I said it backwards. Pacific Northwest, the NW. Anywho, I'm starting to get those.
Purity balls.
Purity balls.
I'm just like laughing at the chat now.
I know, I'm looking at it too. I had to learn about tacos and carrots from friends.
Oh, consider yourself lucky to have friends that would teach you those things, because
I know
they're not always there.
They would teach it to you properly and not like the weird shit that some of us learned. Listen, the 90s were weird.
T's just sharing all her tea. Ex-Catholic here, but still a butt virgin for now.
Yeah, it's overrated, T. It's overrated. It's a very overrated.
I feel like also if you're a size queen, those two don't go together.
Correct. They do not.
I'm still laughing at the live that y'all did on Instagram that I watched afterwards. I don't think I ever told you that to you. I watched after the fact.
Oh,
because Audrey was like, "Oh my god, I just had a live with T on Instagram," and I was like, "I need to watch this," and it was hilarious. Wait, I don't know if I knew the purity. Wait, oh, okay.
Yeah, purity balls are so normal.
So when you see purity balls, like plural, there are other balls that I think about.
Oh.
And not like a ball, like a ball gown, a dance.
So the thing is,
exactly. I was like, wait, are people giving people balls?
And
then I realized, no, like dances. Yeah, no, fuck all that.
Like it's really upsetting.
Welcome back.
Yeah, those balls are really one.
I just had to say that out, like in my brain, like how it was the same thing twice.
Yes. I was
my goodness.
Yeah,
it's always in the gutter.
Yeah, LGG for life, yeah.
You can YOLO away from my butt.
I don't either.
I'm with you, Dusha.
Sorry, I was looking for that. I don't either, T. I'm wicked as fuck. But like I'm a very I would say natural. I'm just naturally Wiccan. So the things that I do and see are odd, but I'm used to it by now. And like I'm just used to it now. I used to get upset by it or like ignore it for a long time, but I got, especially when I got divorced, I was like, now it's time to embrace her, and I did. Romance
Oh
novels
my
do
goodness. Distinguish between balls. Exactly the tropical life. It sounds like chastity belts. I'm imagining a larger, strangely placed purity ring.
I mean, I'll leave you with this. There's a reason there was a chastity belt, but nothing was on his shit.
I'm Alex said I have such a skewed view on waiting till marriage. I used to think I wanted to do that, then quickly realized I did not want to gamble on having burnt toast flavored love life if I waited. Waiting till marriage, in my opinion, is bullshit.
It's bad.
It's not about religion. It's not about purity. It's not about any of that.
it's about
It's trapping
compatibility.
you into, yeah, it's compatibility, and it's trapping you into a relationship where sexual chemistry is not prioritized, and that should be a language that you can have between you and the person you're with.
Well, yes, because what's prioritized is his pleasure over yours. So it doesn't matter if the female enjoys herself. It's about giving yourself over to your one true love. And we saw that in that crazy show that I was watching where, the girl was a virgin and just kept harping on it and like really made that her identity. And it was so bad that she was not even sexually mature. And she was like 23 years old. And so you're like looking at this 23-year-old who couldn't even touch her now spouse's body in a way that didn't make her giggle. And you're like, this isn't good for people. Like, and that's what I say. I'm like, this isn't good for people. Look at her. She's 23 years old and she's behaving like she's like 7. And like that, how would she expect him to want to try to grow with her through that? Like, he can't do that. He did not want the responsibility of ushering her into sexuality because that seemed, and it was a large amount of pressure for him to take on. And also the amount of waiting he would have to do because he'd already waited like 8 weeks, like 8 weeks with his wife. And still she didn't do anything. And then she was surprised when he wanted to divorce. I'm like, honey, he can't even talk to you about sex, let alone consider when he's going to have it
Yeah.
with you. Like, what did you expect was going to happen?
Uh, yeah, exactly. You need to be able to make sure you're compatible. And
Yeah,
it's possessing a woman's sex. It's
it
saying
is.
that again, it's all about that. It's all about the man's pleasure, and the woman is just there to satisfy.
Yeah, I mean, if
But I
both people
also
want
think even,
to,
yeah,
well,
go
yeah,
ahead.
you're right. I was going to say, yeah, if both people want to wait, but I was like, as you started, I was like, yeah, but even then, you could both find out that you're completely incompatible sexually. Like, so I will tell you this, like, I mean, I was into some things, and what I would find, well, I'll just say in the BDSM community, what I would find so often is the large amount of men who were married who just felt either that they could suppress the side of their lives or felt like their partner wouldn't enjoy it, or when they tried to introduce it to their partner was not receptive. So rather than them just realize that like love isn't enough, they still married this person and still require this other part of their life. So what that does is it places a large onus on the other person to be okay with being with somebody who is in a relationship, and your relationship is different, and it's very like it's not good for either party because they still want to be with you, and you're like, I can't do this, like I can't, like you're married, well they don't like to do this, and you're like, I get it, but like did you tell them? Well, I did, but they're not into it. I'm like, well then you shouldn't have married them. Like, I don't know what to tell you, but like I can't keep, like we can't play games like this. And they kind of push a lot of their wants and needs, specifically males do it the most, they decided that because they want this thing that they're going to go outside their marriage to find it. And I'm a huge proponent of saying cheating is extremely complicated. I know people want it to be very black and white, but it is extremely complicated. But the problem in that lies in the sexuality, and that they knew, some of these guys knew when they were 25 years old that they were doms, and that that's what they enjoyed, and that like they enjoyed this lifestyle. And then when they met their partner either like was never going to be into it, and they knew that upon meeting them, so they never discussed it, or when they tried to introduce it, their partner was like, no, I'm not into this, this is weird, and they still move forward because they like allowed love to be like that thing. And it's like, well, love isn't always enough. And I think that that conversation needs to be had more, that love is not always enough. You can love somebody until the end of time, but there are many other factors that mean that you can't be together. And like, this isn't Romeo and Juliet, this is real life.
Yeah. And love isn't just going to fix everything. Love isn't just going to make all of the issues go away because you two love each other. There are plenty of people, in my opinion, on this planet that probably love each other or would have like very intense loving relationships that should not be together because of other reasons, other incompatibilities. And I think the whole thing about waiting until marriage is that if you've never experienced sex or sex with another person, particularly the person that you're looking to marry, you really don't understand how the two of you could work together or not work together. And if you're the kind of person that you're like, you know what, sex is not a huge deal for me, you know, I'm more focused on the love and the relationship, and so I'm like waiting works for me. Here's the thing, is that sex could be a big deal for the other person, and they're waiting because it's this like situation, it's this setup that was discussed, but the reality is sex is important to them, and they're kind of putting it on the back burner until you're married. And then all of a sudden you are a person with a lower sex drive and they are a person with a higher sex drive, and
Correct.
you're trying to be compatible together, but either this other person is going to be masturbating a whole lot, which doesn't always fill the desire, or again, it could lead to possibilities of cheating. And you know, we all know cheating is bad, but also
Correct.
cheating is not black and white. Cheating is not super straightforward. So obviously we never want to go into a relationship thinking, well, I mean, I could just always cheat on I could always just cheat and get my kicks. But the reality is that if you've never had the discussions and the interactions, then you don't know how the two of you are going to kind of work together. Or maybe you find out this other person is trash. They don't listen to you. They don't like compensate, like they don't compromise your needs and their needs. Like there's no fucking way I could be with somebody who's basically just a selfish prick in bed.
Yeah, and even small things like when you want to have sex, right? Because there are like, for instance, I used to not be a morning love and time person because I used to be on a boatload of medications when I was misdiagnosed as having bipolar disorder. It turns out I just had a husband and I just needed to lose him. Good night. But you know, even things like that. Like there are some people who don't want to do it unless they've had a shower. Doesn't matter. They're like, I have to have a shower every time. I have to have a shower. I have to be clean. And your partner could very well be like, well, I don't care about that. I want to be able to. So for them, it might be off-putting that every time you wanted to engage, you had to be like, let me go take a shower first. And they're like, well, now I'm not in the mood because you're going to go take a shower. And I'm like, not interested after that. Like I was in the mood now. So it's just stuff like that where you have to realize, like, as mundane as that may seem, those are important issues. Those do become problems later, because at first they don't mind it because you're in the early blushes and throes of love and infatuation, and they don't mind that you want to take a shower. But then you get married, and then they're just like, why do you always have to do that? And you're like, because I like to be clean. You know, and these are the kinds of things that people just don't realize, and like they don't really want to think about it. And it's just a lot, like and things that you are willing to try and things that you're not. What if you are totally into having threesomes? What if you're into, doing some crazy freak shit, which is fun, it's a good time, but your partner isn't, and you're going through your marriage, you're like, hey, why don't we do some freak shit? And they're like, what? Ew. And you're like, oh yeah, ew, gross, yeah, no freak shit. Like
exactly. And you're like, oh wow, I'm a terrible human being. I must be an animal because I like this thing, and they just said like, oh, this, like, who would want to do that disgusting thing? And it's just like,
You are correct.
Also,
Tisharia.
I agree with this, but I also wanted to say Angela had mentioned. It's weird because I'm the mother of a 7-year-old girl. I feel like I should be more passionate about this, but our goal is to just teach her to be careful, use protection. I think that sounds like an amazing goal.
Yeah.
I'm not a religious person. I do have some spiritual side to me, but it's not super strong. But I think that you can, even if you and your partner are religious, you can also still like just teach them, educate them about sex and sexuality and bodily autonomy, and let them realize that like they do have ownership of their body, they have ownership of what they choose to do with it, and they have the right to say yes or say no. And if they're in a situation where they're uncomfortable and they don't want to do it, they have the right to get out of that situation. And that in time, I feel like people will figure out the right moments to choose to have sex. And maybe it's not the right moment. Maybe you're an awkward teenager and you lose your virginity and you're like, well, that was terrible. But if you're raising your daughter to be like kind of their own person, I don't think you're going wrong.
Yeah, because like, and that brings up, so one of my favorite movies, this is going to tie in, I promise, is Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Mm-hmm. And honestly, that movie, you can actually physically, you can visibly see Brad Pitt and Angelina falling in love. Like you can actually see that happen. Yes. It's not just acting. Mm-hmm. You can see it in the movie, right? But what's so interesting about that is Angelina was very quickly demonized as a, homewrecker. And women face this so often. The man doesn't face it, but the woman does. It's like, this woman, as like Fefi has here, this woman destroyed my family. Well, she didn't. He did. Yeah. He had the ring on. At the end of the day, at the very end of the day, the person who is in a marital state or in a relationship, they are the ones with the obligation. Point blank, period. The other person has no obligation to be kind, to be moral, because all they're thinking is, I like this person a lot and I want them. They could even be falling in love with you. They want what they want and they want you. Yeah. So you cannot, in good conscience, just keep acting like, well, it's this other person. If they hadn't shown up. No, if they hadn't shown up, somebody else was going to show up. And if they didn't show up, somebody else was going to show up, because your relationship isn't working. Your relationship is not working, and it hasn't been working for a long time. Now, should y'all have broken up? Yes. But the reality of the situation is you did not. And so what's happened is, yes, there's another person, but that person is not the problem. Like, that person isn't the one who made it. Even if they pursued your significant other, it still doesn't matter, because they still had the ability and the obligation to be the ones like, no, I'm married. And then if they really wanted to pursue it, they should have gone home and be like, we should get divorced. That is the simplicity of it. The complicated part about it is the ones who are like, well, we've been all this stuff and we've done this and we've done that. And they're so busy thinking about all the stuff that they've built together that they refuse to acknowledge all the issues and problems in the relationship. And I can definitely say that as somebody who had a horrible relationship and it went bad. My whole issue with it very much was like, yeah, this is a bad relationship. It's been bad. Neither one of us wanted to acknowledge it. So by the time it just like wayside, it was good. Like I always say, I was ecstatic when he was like, I think we should get divorced. And I was like, yes, juices, goodbye. I will never see you again. Like, it was.
I love that reaction. You were just like, Let's do it.
I was like, let's do this thing. I moved the fuck out and went on about my life. So I feel very strongly that we continuously act like there's this, especially when it comes to women, this other woman idea, like the other woman came and she wrecked everything. And they really did
then the
do
woman
that.
scorned.
Yes. And they really did and continue to treat Jennifer Aniston from a relationship like 20 years ago. They refuse to let her just be great. Just let her be great, but they won't do it. They will continue to portray her as this like poor, sad, lonely, childless woman who Brad Pitt left her. Like he just left her and like that was the best love of her life. We don't know them, first of all, but the idea that like that's who she is, like yes.
And
thank you.
This like get back with your cheater husband. It's like and the reason why I keep highlighting Feffy comments is I'm like, Feffy, I feel like you would be a great you'd be a great guest. No pressure. But like when we were talking about rom-coms the other night and you were like going in and this conversation, just know you're always
I get real shitty on rom-coms. Real shitty. Yes. I get mad.
Yes.
But
and I don't even, and it's weird to say it like this, but I'm like, I never was like a fan of Jennifer Aniston as an actress or actor or any of that, but I didn't understand why she's hounded by this one relationship. Well, actually, she was hounded her whole career. Yeah, I mean, but she has been hounded her whole.
Brad Pitt. Like the same thing happened to her. Like, and not happened as in cheating, but like he was engaged to her. Because the thing was, Brad Pitt never wanted to get married. That was his whole deal. He never wanted to get married, so he was with Gwyneth Paltrow. He was engaged to her. He was like, I don't want to get married. Broke up with her. Gwyneth Paltrow is not hounded by it. Like, it's not just because she married Chris Martin. She's just never hounded by it. Because Jennifer Aniston got married, got divorced, and she's still hounded by it. Like, as soon as she got divorced, it's like, Jennifer Aniston's with Brad Pitt hanging out. I'm like, is she? Y'all still on this?
And some of it wasn't even about Brad. I realized sometimes it was just about, like, she's forever alone.
Yeah.
Well, she's a millionaire.
Yeah, she's not alone.
She's an actor. She's a millionaire. She could date whoever she wants or not date with anyone. Like, just why is the focus on that she's not with Brad Pitt anymore, that she's single or now? Like, what? Why? Why do we care? Agreed. Fugly. If it's me talking.
No offense. Well, yeah, it's a sad affair that this is how women are treated constantly, like regularly. Women are just treated like either they're the nightmare that showed up in a man's life and ruined it. And or it's like when, like, for instance, when my marriage was going bankrupt, the amount of people, especially men, who had their hands in my fucking business trying to tell me to take back my ex-husband. I was like, you don't even know. Get the fuck out of here. Leave me alone. Well, he really loves it. I'm like, I don't give a fuck what he likes. Like, that's what I was.
We are no longer together. I didn't give a fuck the last 2 years or however long it was. I definitely don't give a fuck now.
I'm like, I really don't
people
care.
Say things like that, I'm just like, you don't understand how this person who you want me to give a fuck about actually didn't give a fuck about me for however many years it was. So why am I now going to care?
Yeah. I mean, like, it was just really weird to me because I would look and I'm like, ugh. And it's like, I think sometimes that was like, that's one of the reasons that I took a long time before I even like cared about being in an actual relationship again. But two, I'm like, I'm not going to be defined by who I'm with. Like, that's just not going to happen. And nobody's going to know like my true relationship business. Ain't nobody knowing that. Like, except you, Emily, obviously you would care. Like, that's fine. But like, but like,
and this, like she's rich, she's pretty. She's doing the damn thing, getting nominations, awards. How do we not know that she doesn't have a bunch of dudes who are at least down to fuck?
Yeah.
Or she doesn't feel like fucking, or she has like whatever. She has whatever she needs. Like, again, it's this whole mindset of you're not a complete woman until you're with a man.
Correct. With
good
children.
Night, Kimberly.
Night, Kimberly.
Oh, yes.
We're probably
and then you have children. Yes.
Yes,
another lemon tree.
My nose is doing the thing.
I know. I'm like, it's getting late. It's getting quite late.
It is. It's like 12:20 my time, Central Time, 1:20 Eastern. Y'all been hanging in strong.
Yes.
Nisha, thank you so much, by the way. I saw that.
60 people here. It's ridiculous. Oh, Nisha, I mean, thank you.
Thank you so much. Like, that's amazing. You're an amazing person. I'm like tired now. I'm like sitting here like, I love you. You're so great. Give me the food. Like,
I mean, everybody does not know Audra's full carrot and taco situation. She has some secrecy, a little bit.
I do.
A little bit.
That's
although you did show him on a stream once, which was funny.
Well, not on the whole stream. He didn't show up on the stream. His voice did. His voice showed up on the stream. And it was like, that is a very pleasing voice. And I was like, oh my God. They're like, does he? I remember y'all, like, people in the chat were like, does he know we can hear him? I was like, oh my God.
I forgot. I'm like, Kara and I saw him at one point in time. Yeah. But I forgot that other stream was voice only.
Yeah, because I snuck so that y'all could see him.
Also, yes, Peppy, DM me. I saw your message earlier. Well, let's talk.
Cassandra's in Australia.
My goodness, Cassandra. Oh, I'm so glad you can hang out with us.
I know.
And I agree completely.
All of our sleeping, like my sleeping pattern is way fucked off. It hasn't been good in a while.
No, same. I love this, Peppy. And we were all talking to him like we were in high school. Hi, Mr. New York. That smile on your face, Audra. That smile is everything.
Listen, I'm going to go before y'all even know anything else about me. I'm going to leave. I'm going to go take my hot shower so that I can breathe again because, like, the temperature's not enough to give me allergies.
Oh, my goodness. Y'all are all amazing. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. And
email the 535 Live. We'll definitely pick a topic for sure and do that next week. Next week, we'll do one of y'all's topics.
There we go. Wait, no. 5for5live@gmail.com. There you go. Yes, we do. We do support Mr. York in this house.
Yes, his first name is you.
There we go. We support the Audra New York smile.
Oh my God.
You are like full smiles. I'm going to click in the broadcast before Audra feels more embarrassed.
Bye, y'all.
Thank you, everybody, for being